on long jump. And here are a few things you may
Games hosted by the City of Glasgow in Scotland. 10 sports going on across this week for the whole of the Commonwealth Games, the 23rd edition of this championships. Here in athletics and para-athletics, we've got 71 nations represented. And despite some wet weather in the last couple of days, the athletes have brought fantastic performances here, as they do every time we hold this championships. This evening should be an interesting evening with lots of para action. We've got women's and men's discus throw for the F42-44 category. Some wheelchair races as well. The women's 1,500 metres will get underway shortly. We've got a men's long jump final, women's shot put final on the field side, and a few more heats to sort out in the men's 400 hurdles, the women's 800. Conclusion of the women's heptathlon 800. It's a really tight battle for the bronze medal, and that we'll update you on as we get towards that later this evening. We're also going to have a women's steeplechase final. See all the spectators wrapped up nice and warmly, and they'll be glad they perhaps weren't here last night in the pouring rain, and they'll be settling in for a good 3 hours or so of athletics. We're going to start with some medal ceremonies this evening, men's 100 and women's 100, before the action gets underway, starting with that women's discus throw para final at 7 o'clock local time here in Glasgow. That's in about 40 minutes. My name is Hannah England. I'm commentating this championship. So Tim Hutchings and Danny Crates. And Danny, we've been talking about the importance of the integration of the para-athletics here in Scotstoun, and tonight is a wonderful example of showcasing these athletes.
Yeah, we have multiple events on tonight. We are going to see the discus, 2 discus events, the men and the women. We're going to see the men's 100-metre final for athletes with upper limb impairment, and we're going to see the wheelchair races on the track for the very, very first time. Be prepared to see something fast.
And you were saying it has stopped raining slightly. It was very, very heavy as we were coming into the stadium this afternoon and doing our preparations for the event. And you were saying that it's really important that it has dried up slightly, particularly for those wheelchair athletes.
Yeah, they will be looking for a drier track. I'm not sure it's going to dry up enough because of the grip they need between their gloves and the push rims to get the momentum of the chair. So the athletes will be watching the weather to see how it's going to go. But we know what the weather's been like here, so I would imagine the athletes will come out prepared for wet weather. But also it's going to affect their racing techniques as well, because some of the more experienced athletes are going to look to draft. They're going to look to sit behind somebody, and when the track's wet, they're going to get all the spray in their face, so they're going to have to compensate a little bit in how they're going to race technically today as well.
I mean, looking at the wheelchair athletes just going through their warm-ups here, and with the wet track conditions, well, do you know if these athletes will have made decisions on those gloves they might use or the tyres they might use, or are they going to wait maybe until the last minute?
Well, I'd imagine they know the weather conditions. They know that the track is wet. Unless the sun comes out, it's not going to dry out. The track's going to stay wet for most of the night. We know there's more rain coming, so I would imagine they're going to hedge their bets. But sometimes it is a gamble they have to take, and there's been many occasions in the history of the sport where athletes have come out expecting wet weather and it's dry, or they come out expecting dry weather and it rains, and they sort of get that gamble slightly wrong. If they're using their dry weather gloves and it's wet, they're going to find it very hard to grip the push rims.
It's like Formula One, but unfortunately without the time in the race to go and do a pit stop, or perhaps the crew and all the expertise around to make that a quick pit stop. And I've got a question as well, Danny, about these F42, F44 discus competitions. Now, the men's first, followed by the women's. We saw the hammer for women take place last night in standing water, and the athletes managed okay. Do you have any concerns about the para-athletes and, if we get conditions that are any wetter? I mean, like you say, it's standing water out there. There's no getting away from that. Will it be more of a challenge for these para-athletes?
Most definitely. The T42s to 44s and 61s to 64s, they are athletes with lower limb impairments. The 40 classes don't use prosthesis, but you'll see someone like Ali Jones, who we're very familiar with in Paralympic sport. He uses very, very heavy framework around his leg to support it. And then the 60 categories, they will use a prosthesis. So their balance coordination is already impaired when they're rotating in the circle. And then you add to that the wet conditions, they are going to have to be extra cautious with that. So they're going to be looking they're really going to be looking for these dry conditions.
And what we didn't see with that women's hammer yesterday was anyone really bothering to take a towel into the circle and kind of wipe it up first. I mean, there was so much rain, there wasn't any point. But if it's not falling from the sky, do you think we'll see the guys really trying to dry up that circle, particularly the men that are out first?
I think it's everyone will have their own preference in how they approach this. As you said yesterday, there was nothing you could do yesterday. I think you've just got to get on with it. And we saw actually it wasn't impacting performance too much. There was a few sort of no throws in the early stages, and then the athletes got to grips with it. Athletes are used to these conditions as well. I mean, we spent a bit of time talking about the weather at the start of each programme, but as we know, we're athletes ourselves. We know that we are used to competing in every kind of condition. We compete when it's too hot, we compete when it's too cold, we compete when it's wet, we compete when it's dry. Athletes get used to competing, and they just compensate their performance to give them the best opportunity to deliver in those environments.
And just to correct myself, sorry, it is the women para-athletes doing the discus first, followed by the men. I got that reversed in my head there with the schedule. Always better to use a schedule that's actually written down rather than one you tried to remember. But we saw there on the weather graphic around about 15 degrees this evening. And there are the women coming out for the para-discus in the F42 to 44 and F61 to 64 category. And they will throw first. But Tim, it's a little bit cooler than it was this morning, but again, we have talked about the weather a lot, probably too much, but it's okay, isn't it? It's not absolutely impossible.
Well, no, I mean, the problem is it's 14 degrees centigrade. It's actually much chillier than last night when the 100-metre finals took place. Obviously, the men's 100 metres medal ceremony is off very shortly, and the women's straight after that. But considering the conditions yesterday, last evening, the performance is fantastic. I'm sure they'll be the same today. It is a bit drier, although it has been raining quite a lot through the middle of today. We were back at the hotel. In between the sessions, we have 5 or 6 hours to do some preparation and even grab a nap and something to eat. And I wanted to go for a run, but it was raining so hard. I just wanted to go for one of my very pathetic little jogs. It was raining so hard through the lunchtime period that I didn't even bother. I know that sounds silly after seeing the athletes performing so well last night in the pouring rain, but this is cooler today. This is the coldest day we've had so far by quite some margin this evening.
So as we watch the para-athletes walk out for the discus, just a reminder, we're going to start with those 2 medal ceremonies, the men's 100 followed by the women's 100, and then this discus is going to get underway in half an hour or so.
I must admit what I'm looking forward to tonight to those 400 metres hurdles, first round heats for the men, and the women's 800 metre semi-finals in particular. They will be very, very tough with just 8 athletes progressing through to the final for the women's 800 metres. It's a packed field.
And also, I mentioned kind of in passing the women's steeplechase, but we have got the reigning world champion Faith Cheretich up against the former Olympic champion Perith Chematai. They both run incredibly fast this season. There's barely anything to choose between them. They've been exchanging wins and losses on the circuit. So to have those two quality athletes spearheading that women's steeplechase final is something to look forward to as well. And that will actually be our final event this evening. That's taking place in 3 hours.
Yes, we go right through, as most evenings, to almost 10 o'clock tonight. The medal ceremony for the women's shot put will be concluding this session. And then after tonight, we'll be at the halfway mark of these 6 days. But touch wood at the moment, Hannah, the rain is staying away. And I don't want to jinx things. The crowd's gradually filling up the stands at either end of the arena. But let's hope it stays rain-free, if not a dry surface, for these athletes in the women's discus. Well, 100 metres last night was quite spectacular, both men's and women's. There you can see it in the centre of your screen, that blue screen over in the corner of the arena. That's where the presentations are made. We can't actually see it from our commentary position here. It's just out of sight. We're sort of extreme left of your picture there by the finish line. You can see all those boxes from the media, the electronic media and written media. We are very, very lucky. We've got a fantastic commentary position right above the finish line. But last night's 100 metre final for men was spectacular. The winning time was the 3rd fastest in the world this year in far from ideal conditions. They love the warmth. They love 25, 30 degrees or even warmer, the sprinters, but they didn't get that last night. they didn't need it. More importantly, the first 4 breaking 10 seconds, and indeed, Gift Liotlela of South Africa in 4th place, not even making the rostrum as we see these 3 step forward. There were 2 national records for the gold and silver medalists, and the bronze medalists for Nigeria running 9:90, a special time. Although maybe he was expecting more, there may be an element of disappointment for young Kayinsola Ajayi, the NCAA champion from a few weeks back in Eugene, Oregon, in the USA, the National Collegiate Championships for the USA. Mike Fennell, honorary life president for Commonwealth Sport. Many of these VIPs making the presentations have put in years and years of work. Kayinsola Ajayi of Nigeria is the bronze medalist. His first major senior championship medal. Big smiles there. I suspect overnight it's sunk in just what a meteoric rise he's had to close to the top of world sprinting this year. This young man has got a massive future. His time 9:90, only 1/100th ahead of the Liotlela of South Africa in 4th place. The silver medal, well, it was a massive breakthrough performance from Lachlan Kennedy of Australia, 9.85. It was not only a personal best, it was an area record, the fastest time ever run by an athlete in from the Australasia. The wind speed 1.3 behind them. It was nice and kind to them. He's a lad who's played rugby at junior level for Australia Rugby Union. I wouldn't want to try and tackle him as he's going down the wing, I must admit. Big smiles from him too. But the champion, well, a games record, that's how good it was for Cameroon. Emmanuel Esseme, 9.83, a national record, of course, for him. It was absolutely staggering the way he covered the ground last night. Ferdinand Dominiala winning in Birmingham 2022 in 10:02. Esseme would have been 2 meters ahead of him. Dominiala didn't make it through the semis yesterday. But Esseme, well, only Oblique Seville, the reigning world champion, is faster than him this year in the Commonwealth. Cameroon's national anthem rings around Scotstoun Stadium. Lovely, bubbly ditty, that one. Really enjoyed that. And what next for Esseme? He ran the 200-meter heats this morning, ran very, very cautiously, made it through as an athlete who had to run the first round. 8 others didn't, but he's got the semis, and hopefully for him, the 200 final tomorrow evening. That would be a double, Hannah, against such strong lineups at these games.
Well, Esseme looked a little bit tired this morning in that
I
first
think he was
round.
being cautious, but
okay.
yeah, it could have been fatigue. It's impossible to tell.
I mean, it was 2073. He made it through maybe, what was it? It was sort of 14th out of 17 or so that got to progress. So I don't know. I think he might have gone back to the warm-up area and thought, probably could have done with another 10th there just to give myself a relaxing hour or so as he waited for those 10 200-meter heats to unfold.
Well, you could talk about it over a drink for hours. Was he just being cautious, conserving energy after racing just last night and really extending himself dramatically for that quick 100-meter winning time, 9:83? Perhaps we'll see the gloves come off tomorrow in the semis.
But it is also like the neural fatigue for running something like 9:83 and There's different types of fatigue you can get from athletics, and I think, you know, when you do the endurance running, you get super tired, and that's very hard to recover from. But sprinting's a little bit different. You think it should be okay just running 100, but what you've asked your body to do, and when it's something you've never done before as well, I wonder if Aseme's legs were just screaming a little.
Neural fatigue, that phrase didn't exist when I was a lad.
Did it not?
When I was
just
racing.
Fatigue?
Neural fatigue, they'd have gone, what's one of them? But I think everybody knows what you mean. It's just a muscular and nervous system fatigue, and it takes a little while to rebuild. Although they do train for that for many, many years to recover and do it again. Repetitions in training are common from sprint through to, marathon running, frankly.
I think Aseme won't mind foregoing a bit of recovery to come back to the stadium to pick up his medal.
You know what I liked about that, though, last night? And in many parts of the world, people will look, first of all, at the 100-metre times, and it will have made people sit up and pay attention. In the USA in particular, for example, 983 commands respect. You know, something in the tens is like, well, college kids are doing it every day out in the USA, but 983, that is special.
Here are the medalists for the women's 100 metres. Medal presentation team, as always, well drilled, all stood exactly where they should be. But the bronze last night went to Tori Lewis, the world junior champion from 2024. Been in a great run of form in the last month, lowered her own national record to 11:04 a few weeks ago, and then to 11 seconds exactly in the semi-final, and then took it to 10:99 last night, her first ever performance underneath that 11-second barrier. And it's another major podium for Amy Hunt. It was silver in Tokyo last year at the World Championships, over 200 metres. And here, the Englishwoman picked up a silver in the 100 metres. She will go for the 100 and the 200 at the European Championships in a few weeks. Here in Glasgow, no appearance in the longer sprint for Amy Hunt. She will go in the relay, though, in the 4x1 in a few days. Massive breakthrough last night for Zoe Hobbs. She's a brilliant 60-metre runner, great starter. And yesterday, from lane 7, she put the whole 100 together supremely, broke her own oceanic record with 10:93. And looked absolutely delighted. And the result was confirmed up on the screen. She had every right to believe she could win this title. There were a few athletes in the field that could claim that, but Zoe Hobbs was the one that got the job done on the day.
And Hannah, it says a lot, doesn't it, that she was quicker, her winning time than Elaine Thompson-Herah in 2022. The Jamaican Thompson-Herah, a living legend. Julian Alfred, a certain Julian Alfred, dominating the women's sprints in globally this year, was in second in 11:01, but wow, 10:93. A lot of athletes have taken significant steps forward at these games and will carry that confidence into the second half of this very, very busy summer through to the Ultimate Championships. I mean, you know, with performances like this, quite a few athletes here are nailing a lane at the Ultimate Championships in Budapest in what, mid-September.
No, it's all about world rankings, isn't it, to get to that Ultimate Championship. It's not the kind of traditional format of impressing your nation and being invited by your nation to go and represent them at championships. The World Ultimates, you qualify yourself. So there's no cap on the number of athletes per nation that we could see there. These three, Zoe Hobbs, Amy Hunt, Tori Lewis, all underneath 11 seconds to pick up those medals last night. You'd hope they make the top 16 in the world. Just watching the final warm-up shots here of the women's paradiscus. And, they are staying warm. Sidi Dioko there of England using a towel to stay warm. It's not as extreme as last night. We had everyone wrapped up in blankets and huddling under these umbrellas, but the athletes quite rightly just trying to ensure they stay warm and they're ready to throw when their turn comes.
One or two shots required for the family album, of course, for those three medalists from last night's women's 100 metres. Have they done the biting shot yet? Surely it's got to come. What do you reckon? How much would you put in it?
Oh, well, they've already had a bit of a nibble up on the podium, these three. Well, Zoe Hobbs certainly did. It was nice to see the emotion from Zoe Hobbs there as well. You kind of think it's all in the instance across the line, but it goes on to that medal ceremony when you get to see your flag being raised. And the Kiwis got big hopes with Tom Walsh tomorrow night in the shot put. Unfortunately for them, Hamish Kerr wasn't able to do the high jump. Where else have they got any medal hopes?
Beamish didn't do it in the steeplechase.
He was fourth,
for them.
yeah.
He didn't turn out for the mile heats this morning. One or two others out there, I'm sure.
Women's javelin might be in with a shot of a medal in the women's javelin. I love this. It's actually these athletes are asking a volunteer to take pictures on their own phone. You know, you think you might be above it, that you might not need to do that, but these athletes do want their own memories.
I was at a meeting last year with Crammy walking around, and a spectator handed in the camera and said, "Can you take a picture of us, please?" Unaware of who they were asking to hold their camera. But these things happen, and it raised more than a chuckle in me, I can tell you.
Didn't drop them in it. Didn't make an awkward moment out of it.
No, and he even said yes, which was caught him in a spectacularly good mood.
Warm reception for Amy Hunt down the home straight here.
Do you know what was great about Amy's run last night? And she's now really nailing down how to peak at championships, because her form in the last 4 or 5 weeks has been very mixed. It certainly hasn't been medal-winning form, but absolutely when it was needed, she can pull out the big performances. It really is a special ability to be able to do that.
And it's something you have to work on as you move from a junior to a senior. As a junior, it's not quite as delicate. You can probably maintain a good enough peak for a few weeks and a few months sort of across the opportunities you've got as a junior. But when you step up to those senior ranks and it gets so competitive, you really do have to bring your best performance. And I think we saw that from all three of the medalists. And Hobbs and Lewis, they can now go away and just get ready for the restart of the circuit, if you like. That will wait till after the European Championships in Birmingham. Whereas Amy Hunt's got to keep her head in the game, keeping that championship mindset for another couple of weeks. She wants to pick up more medals. She's been very vocal about her ambitions for this summer. She actually said her mission was 3 golds. She wanted a gold here in the 100 and then a double gold at the European Championships. But when you're faced with Zoe Hobbs executing a perfect race and running a time like 10:93, I think Amy Hunt will be pleased with that silver medal.
Well, especially when it's her second event, really. You know, I mean, she is a 200-metre specialist. She doesn't have the best start in the world. Those long legs take a while to unwind, and she gets into her running in the second half of a 200. That's when she really comes off the bend and comes into her strength. So to break 11 seconds last night, take a Commonwealth silver medal in such a quick time, augurs really well for what lies ahead in coming weeks at 200. Well, there we go. Look at that. A puddle, but no little ripples in it from the rain at the moment. It is impressively wet. That is the high jump bed over on the first D of the track, just past the finish line. We can see the photographer from our commentary position doing a wonderful job, and all credit to them. We got on a bus last night with a camera woman, I think, who had been covering the women's high jump, and she was drenched through and frozen. And we might have discussed this morning a little bit, I think, but she was, well, to call her a trooper would be an understatement. She was frozen. She could hardly talk. She was trying to change into some drier gear, but she was unable to. Her hands were so cold.
I think it does make the performances we saw in those 100-metre races all the more important and more impressive when we consider how they were run. Nice to see these athletes taking all the time in the world to stop for a few selfies. So around about 15 minutes away from the start of the women's para discus. So they're just going through their warm-up throws over there. And around about half an hour away from our first track action, that will be the women's 1500 T54 race.
Well, there's quite a long delay now before the action gets underway, as you say, Hannah. At 1:15 we've got almost half an hour till that track action at 7 o'clock local time, in about 12 minutes time. That, of course, is Scottish UK time. At 7 p.m. here, the women's discus throw will get underway. Danny, what are you looking forward to tonight? Most of all? I'm going to put you on the spot again.
Oh, it's always a tricky one. I think I'm really looking forward to seeing the wheelchair athletes get out on the track. The 1,500 metres, I would say, is almost equivalent to like the ambulance runners 800 metres. It's fast, it's furious, it's very, very tactical. And as we mentioned earlier, these conditions on the track, the athletes are going to have to they're going to need to just be a little bit cautious about their preparation and what tactics they use on the actual track.
I thought you might say the 800s, the women's 800 semis, because you were an 800-metre runner yourself, but that's too simple a point-to-point assumption.
That would have been the case, wouldn't it? Of course, the 800s as well. You've always got to go with that, but I thought I'd just go a little bit, where my specialty should lie, which is in the para-athletics.
I think that's an interesting observation, though. And, you think of the time it's going to take the women to do the 1,500. It's going to be much faster than the ambulance runners would run a 1,500. So you're right, it does pull it into that sort of fast decision-making process and skill that's needed for a slightly shorter, faster race. And the athletes, I'm always fascinated in those wheelchair races. It's quite hard to overtake. It's a big commitment to drop out, to move your wheel, to get around, put in that burst of speed. And it's hard. And, I think it is even harder kind of deciding when to make that move than it is in those ambulance races.
And there is the jeopardy of the race as well. They're racing in very, very close proximity to each other at speed in the chairs. And we have seen in numerous occasions crashes on the track. So the athletes have to be very, very cautious, and especially if you get some athletes in here who are not as experienced in championship racing, because championship racing across all athletics is very different to what some of the athletes are used to, where they'll go after the Grand Prix and it's really, really fast.
It was interesting what you were saying, Danny, about how the wet rims, when they're pushing with their gloves on the wheels to actually get the speed, generate the momentum and maintain the speed, can really compromise performance.
Hugely, and we've seen historically athletes get it wrong. It's one of those things from experience, from having experienced coaching teams around you. They're better equipped to deal with these conditions. But they've got so many things to take into account before they come out here. They also have the compensators set for the track. So when the athletes come out here, you'll see them doing a lap of the track, and what they're doing is setting up the compensators on their front wheel. They don't actually steer the chair as such. They'll just hit the compensator. It's already preset to the bend on the track. And as we know, every track is slightly different.
Is that right? It's preset for the curve of the track. So if a bend is a wider bend, a more gentle bend, the compensator will be set differently.
They'll set it to match this track. You'll see them do a lap of the track when they first come out. I did see one of the athletes out a little bit earlier going around the track. But of course, they'll also, sometimes the T54s, they will just nudge their chairs out slightly if they're coming out to overtake as well.
I was going to ask, how does that work with an overtake then? Because you're sort of angling that front wheel to send you left round the track at the correct sort of angle and trajectory. Yes, you've got to angle it the other way for an overtake, and do you try and set it exactly to the width of a wheelchair and set yourself off on a tangent? Because you can't jump sideways like you can. If you're on your feet, you just take a sideways step and step out and then go forward.
Yeah, you won't see them make any, like sometimes as an ambulant athlete, you will make a drastic, suddenly you shoot out. It's more like a cyclist. They'll just sweep their way out and go round somebody, and they'll pick their moments when they do that. And you'll see them jostling for position. But we're just going back to the women's discus now. Just as we saw last night with the hammer throwers, they're just trying to keep warm, keep dry. It's Cronin, the Canadian athlete, just talking to one of the officials. Oh, sorry, the Welsh athlete, Canadian athlete. My mistake, sorry.
No, there's a
home nation's wrong.
It's an awful lot of red kits, aren't there, in the Commonwealth? Not in this men's long jump final. And absolutely great to see these guys coming out. They'll be getting their warm-up sorted out. It's been welcomed here by the crowd. And we've mentioned how the long jump is right up in the crowd. And look at Stephen Mackenzie. What a guy. Strolling out in a kilt. I'm sure that's part of the opening or closing ceremony uniform, and he's decided, I just want to wear it one more time, and that time is when I'm going to walk out in front of my home crowd over towards the long jump. I'm fairly sure he won't jump in it, but probably isn't approved for competition attire. That's a word as well for the man. Second from the back, Reagan Corrin of the Isle of Man, the 19-year-old, is just out of shot at the moment behind Kotze here. Reagan Corrin. The high jump final, his 10th in that, and then made this final as well. He's having a wonderful championships, and of course it was a brilliant bronze for Dave Malarkey for the Isle of Man, so their athletics team doing very well. Not sure how they're doing elsewhere. It's been very hard to keep across the other sports here in the Commonwealth Games when you're so embedded in one arena. Looking forward to getting home and maybe unpicking some of the other sport that's gone on here in Glasgow whilst we've been focused on the athletics and para-athletics.
Well, I wonder how the wet surface will affect those long jumpers. Will it compromise the distances jumped? They will have a following wind behind them. The flags, just to update you on the wind, although we haven't had a wind reading yet. Flags over at the top, the rim of the high seating on the second bend, over to our left. So effectively at the top of the sprint straight. The flags are standing a little bit more stiffly perhaps than this morning. They will have a following wind behind them in that men's long jump final. The cones keeping those two dry, but compromising the view from those behind somewhat, I rather suspect. But yeah, looking for big distances in that men's long jump as long as the takeoff zone is dried out. You mentioned, Hannah, how that there was no drying out going over the hammer circle last night. Well, that's because it was about 1.5 inches deep in water. You needed about 500 towels to dry it out, and it wouldn't have stayed dry for very long.
It really was just conditions they had to embrace and accept rather than try and, I don't know, solve. There was no solving that.
What do you think, Finny? Should we get everyone together? All the stands. All the stands. Let's go!
Presentation hit team getting the crowd nice and excited. A great DJ here in the stadium, pumping out good tunes, using a dance cam, getting everybody involved. And Finny the mascot is here as well, to put in a decent shift. And we've had some wonderful fireworks at the start of every evening session here in Scotstoun. And we're going to get to see them here for the third time here on day 3.
Are those Scottish colours in the smoke, Hannah?
They're definitely the colours for the event, aren't they? You can see it on all the merchandise. You can see it kind of, yeah, on the T-shirt here of Finney. It looks very like the fireworks. If the wind hadn't interfered, it wasn't interfering too much. They do endure the conditions, those fireworks. So the palette, the colour palette of these Glasgow 2026 Commonwealth Games.
Well, the warm-up area for the athletes is covered. Thankfully, they can get on the ground, do their exercises, do everything without worrying about slipping in any wetness, and then come outside to the arena where conditions are somewhat different, and they'll have the eyes of the spectators on the flexibility of some of these athletes is absolutely staggering. But all of them will have their own routine. When you do a warm-up, whatever sort of exercise it is, you have your own routine, and that gives you reinforcement. I always used to find, didn't you, Hannah, that if you developed a warm-up, which was quite similar before race as before training, it would take you, you know, a specific amount of time. And whether I can remember I used to warm up, and without looking at my watch, it would be within about 30 seconds of 40 minutes when I went down the track for a training session.
My problem is what it would take for a training session would be, 40 minutes or so, and then a championship environment, it's further to the bathrooms, it's further from the suddenly it'd be 50 minutes and you'd be in a mad panic.
So here we have the lineup for the women's F42, 44 and 61 to 64 discus. These are for athletes with lower limb impairments. Athletes in the 42 to 44 category do not use a prosthesis. Athletes in the 60 category will use a prosthesis. We have in amongst this the defending champion and current world record holder, Goodness Nwachukwu from Nigeria.
And with the mixed classification here, Danny, you could see there was one F64 athlete in there from Canada, Francescini. Are we going to use a different scoring system? We're going to use the RASA point system here, we think, to kind of amalgamate these results, so it won't necessarily be the furthest throw that gets the gold medal.
Yes, you won't see. They'll use usual throwing championship format where they'll come out one after the other, unlike the seated throws. But you will see a point system used to define the actual winner. So our first athlete is Bibi Jackson from England. She was a bronze medalist in Paris over the 100 metres. Alicine Francescini from Canada. She was 6th in the World Championships.
By the way of Wales being introduced next, 4th at the World Championships a few years ago, and Van der Merwe of South Africa, maybe out for revenge after a no mark at the last Paralympics.
And the current world record holder and former champion, Goodness Nwachukwu. Sylvia Alero representing Kenya. She was 7th in the Commonwealth Games in 2022.
Agbo of Nigeria will be up next, followed by Didi Oko of England, who only took up the discus in January. She is a Paralympic medalist over 100 metres.
And then Regina Edward representing Papua New Guinea. And last but not least, Bree Cronin representing Wales. She was 5th in the World Championships.
It's quite interesting for me having the likes of Bibi Jackson, who I know was a sprinter. I've seen her sprinting in the last few years, and it was only in preparation for this event I realised she used to throw as a teenager. So she's sort of taken the opportunity on the event that's available for her here at the Commonwealth Games and kind of revamped her throwing career, which I think is a good bit of fun for Jackson, and it's always good for athletes to kind of keep their eye in on their different disciplines.
It is often in sport, your event finds you, but in Paralympic sport sometimes you don't have the events to be able to compete on the world stage. So it's great if you have got something you can fall back on or do. So Bibi's first attempt. She looks quite happy with that.
Well, it looked like about 26 metres to me. Look at it, goes beyond 25. Her personal best is 25.33. I think she might have just thrown a PB.
Great to see Nick Ridgen, the England throws coach, really getting behind Bibi Jackson there. he was enjoying himself. I think when we go towards the World Championships and the LA Paralympics, BB Jackson, I don't know. We'll have to see how it goes today, but I think we'd probably see her back sprinting. She's very good over 100 metres.
25.87, a season's best for BB Jackson. What a great start to the competition. Every athlete looks to get that first safe throw in, don't they?
And interesting there to see the points coming straight up. That is the RASA points. So because we have the combined classifications, they do have a table for that where you can compare these different classifications and kind of even it out somewhat. I'm sure there's plenty of debate that's gone on through the years about whether they are right, whether they are accurate. But Franceschini of Canada up next. The 19-year-old is an F64. So she's a pretty different classification from BB Jackson. So we'll have to wait and see what sort of distance she throws and how that compares to the mark of Jackson.
Franceschini, she'll wear a prosthetics. That's the difference. These athletes in this 60 category will wear prosthesis. She's a 32-metre thrower at her best. That's just shy of the 30-metre mark.
And for me there, the Canadian, I don't know if there was a bit of nervousness with the conditions on the ground there. You can see her prosthesis, I think it was on the right-hand side. And you've got to build that confidence through the warm-up and maybe through the throws as well before you're able to fully commit. Be confident that you're not going to slip because the proprioception and the kind of association with the ground is even trickier for an athlete using a prosthesis.
It is, because they don't have that feeling through their foot. But they've had their warm-up throws, but there's nothing like the competition. The competition brings the extra pressure.
We see that in all the field events, don't we? And even in the kind of starting blocks for the sprinters or those guys attacking the first hurdle, adrenaline just does crazy things to you.
We all know throwers. Every thrower's thrown a personal best in training, right?
Yeah.
Danny, there were a little bit of confusion because BB Jackson, who had the first throw of the contest, as we see that mark 28.09 there for Franceschini. Our notes say her PB is 25.33 and she threw 25.87, which according to our paperwork is a personal best, but it says season's best.
Sometimes with Paralympic sport, it's very hard to track where their competition is. And often when we get our stats on here, they're not always matched up, are they, to recent competitions, for example.
There's also just discrepancy as well, whether it's thrown in a competition that's approved for para competition. These athletes will want to compete as often as possible. Sometimes that will take them to events that aren't necessarily para-specific events. So we see Oduweye in the F44 category, the same as BB Jackson, has launched that pretty far here. Has thrown out towards 38 metres in her career, and I think that opening throw here from Oduweye could be up towards that.
And she's progressing so fast. She only took up the sport in 2022. A new games record for Funmi Oduweye, 38.52. These discus throwers, we spoke about the conditions. It doesn't look like it's bothering them.
Not at all. And we were reflecting on that women's hammer throw this morning, and I do think there's different types of concrete and surface are used to make these throwing circles, and some people go abroad and they say that circle is absolutely impossible with a hint of moisture, and I do think the organisers have opted for a surface that is appropriate for the conditions you'd expect in Scotland, kind of through the year as well, through the winter as well.
I think if anyone's going to make a throwing circle that's adaptable to the wet weather, it's going to be in Scotland. Jani van der Merwe from South Africa. She finished 8th in the Paralympic Games in the shot put and 10th in the discus. As we often see with the throwers, that they can compete over multiple events, especially in the Paralympics. These throwers enjoying having the whole stadium to themselves, aren't they? Van der Merwe's a 34-metre thrower at best, 32 this year. Coach gives a thumbs up.
Good start there for Van der Merwe. 30 metres 91. That gives her 676 points. Odaway of Wales leading the way by some margin at the moment by just under 300 points, 931 points.
Anything up to 1,000 is considered world class, and then when you go up to 1,200 is the max. This is the current Commonwealth champion and world record holder. I was out towards the 30-metre mark, but a good few metres short of her best.
I'm watching Noah Chukwu here of Nigeria, and she's in the F42 category. It's actually been given a no mark here, Noah Chukwu, so I don't know if there was a toe over or outside of the circle. I didn't catch up on, I didn't see that in the
She did look very
real
close
time.
to the edge of the circle when she...
I was going to say, I was wondering if she's at a slight advantage here with her throwing technique, not relying on a rotation. You know, given the wet conditions, you know, she should become maybe less affected by the wet.
Next up, it's Alera from Kenya. Seventh here 4 years ago in Birmingham. That's out towards her lifetime best, probably just shy, but not a bad effort for her first attempt. Once again, opting not to rotate in the circle. Some of the Paralympic athletes won't rotate just because of their impairment.
Well,
Brute strength.
Yeah, it's so complex to rotate, isn't it? I think Alero, I always like the not static throw, but yeah, you know, not the rotation, sort of just flinging it, but then almost having to have a rotation afterwards. Alero, there was so much speed and power, it kind of had to take off afterwards. So it's kind of a bit more manageable when you're throwing, and then still got to keep yourself in the circle afterwards.
As Destiny Ogbo takes to the circle out on the track, the wheelchair 1500 metre racers T54 are just preparing themselves, setting their compensators as they go round. That was at close to a lifetime best. Lifetime best of 31.84. That's not a bad. It's not a bad start.
And Agpo there being credited with 691 points, puts her just ahead of Van der Merwe. Still a massive lead for Funmi Odaway, a Welsh woman, on 900 points. It's quite phenomenal what she managed there with that games record in the first round.
Didikama Oko of England, another 100 metre run, bronze medalist from the Paris Games in 24. Another solid throw out towards her lifetime best of 24 metres 58. .25.28. That's a lifetime best for Akai for England.
You can see there that 763 points for Akai. It puts her ahead of Agbo, and Van der Merwe puts her in the silver medal position. We're just working our way through the first round here in the women's para discus, 42 to 44 and 61 to 64 combined categories. This is Regina Edward of Papua New Guinea, F44 athlete. Represented Papua New Guinea in athletics and powerlifting, and also a bit of para badminton as well. Multi-talented athlete.
She struggled a little bit to stay in the circle there, didn't she? You can see the different limb deficiencies across this category and why it's so complicated, and we need the point system to level it out a little bit. The point system is not based against their personal best, it's based against world records, performances at major competitions. Last up in this first round is Brie Cronin, bringing in a personal best of 39 metres, although she has only thrown 36 this year, so she'll be looking to get back up towards that lifetime best.
See Cronin there just generating so much of that speed and power with her upper body. There is a start of that rotation and that force on the feet, but it's tentative, you know, and just starting her going, but it's really the upper body. She leaves it lagging behind, giving herself all that time to whip the discus round. It's very effective there from the second Welsh woman. We've already got a leader with Fumni Odowavi with 931 points. Cronin is the same classification as Odowavi, so she needs to match her metre for metre. She doesn't quite, but 34.88 is enough to give Wales a 1-2 at the end of the opening round of the para women's discus.
So the next event on the track then, the women's 1500 for T54 category in wheelchairs, these athletes. This will be fast and furious, as Danny said. In fact, I like that analogy, Danny. It's more like the open category 800 metres. So quick is it, and the time it takes them.
It is, and once you'll see it very tactically, and then once they accelerate and the race is really on, then it becomes a ferocious sprint to the finish. Here we see Mel Woods. She's really come into her own in the last year and is a real favourite for this.
Seven athletes out there, and we were talking earlier, Danny, about how difficult it is to pass somebody in this event. So the start is absolutely critical.
Yeah. Here's our Scottish athlete, Joanna Robertson. She was inspired by fellow Scots, Sammy Kinghorn. For Australia, it's Michaela Dingley making her Commonwealth Games debut. Naomi Alphonse from Mauritius is the female team captain for Mauritius, world champion over 100 metres. Melanie Woods, she really come into her own last year with a bronze in the Paralympic World Championships. Representing England, Ellis Cottas, only 22 years old. And lastly, Eliza Altconnell from Australia. She took 16 years out of the sport, took a break from 2004 through to 2020 to have a family.
On your marks.
But away they go. It needs to be an absolute blitz start here to try and get that pole position as they go into the first bend. I guess it helps Danny to be on the left side, because if you can push really hard over the first 50, like Old Connell, the 44-year-old Aussie there in yellow on the right, then it does give you that inside line. But is that the Scot there, Melanie Woods, who hits the front as they go into that first bend?
Yeah, Melanie Woods taking this out. She wants. Oh, there's been a crash already, a very, very big crash.
Oh, that's Alphonse, I think, of Mauritius, who's gone down. She was sixth 4 years ago.
Two athletes have taken a fall. Now, they do restart the races sometimes if it's within the first lap. But at the moment, Melanie Woods still leading the race out.
Now, is somebody going to step out and stop the race so there's a restart? Because we've only got two athletes out there way ahead.
It looks like the athletes... Is that the Australian athlete?
No, it's Mel Woods of
English
Scotland
sitting back. Mel Woods' athletes, we've only got 4 athletes currently racing.
That's Sharma
And 3
from Canada.
athletes out on the track. It looks like the race is still going ahead at the moment. Mel Woods still leading. This would not be how anyone would want this race to unfold.
Somebody should have stepped out, really. There were fallers in the first 200 metres. Somebody should have stepped out and stopped them as they came down the home straight here with less than 300 metres gone.
You just see, just rolling wide.
You think the wet conditions, Danny, contributing to that, those falls?
No, I think that was just a case of some bad racing by someone. It happened so fast over on the back straight. We didn't quite see exactly who caused it, but it caused enough to wipe out 3 of the athletes. So this is a race between Melanie Woods and Sharma from Canada.
Well, they're fairly similar on paper. Woods with no form this year over 1,500 metres, even though she was 4th in the Commonwealth Games 4 years ago. She's a 3:16 athlete, whereas Sharma, the Canadian, in second place, is a 3:22 athlete. In the green there, that's Dingley of Australia, back in 3rd place, but she's up, what, 200 metres behind?
Yeah, and I think that they're just cruising round to finish the race now, the other athletes. It is between the 2 athletes. Here comes the other Scottish athlete as well, Robertson. She was tied up in that crash as well. It's really unfortunate for her on her debut.
Well, they come through with a lap to go. The time 2:38, 2:39 as they go through, and she's beginning to build a bit of a lead here with Melanie Woods. The Scottish crowd are going to love this one. Part of you, of course, as a spectator and seeing those crashes inside the first 200 metres, wishes the race could have been restarted.
There's another athlete on the back straight who's out of her chair as well now.
That is remarkable. Really sad to see. But Woods storming away with this down the back straight.
Melanie Woods has really taken this on now. She really has come into her own. She was last year a bronze medalist in the World Championships, and she's been looking for her first global major gold. And
she's a local lass too from Red Star Glasgow AC. Her coach Rhonda Harkins will be leaping for joy as she comes down to take this gold medal. Absolutely brilliant there. 3:33.39 in glorious isolation there. Unfortunate circumstances for so many of the athletes in that race. And that is a games record by some 3 seconds, over 3 seconds, about 3.5 seconds for Mel Woods of Scotland. She has gone to 3:16 before, but not in the Commonwealth Games. So gold for Scotland, first medal event that's been decided in this 3rd evening session.
And here comes Coates just finishing her race. This is going to take a while to get all the athletes, those that are still out on the track, to finish. It's just a formality for them now, is just to get across the line to finish their Commonwealth Games final, which is such a shame.
Well, Coates has been in such great form recently. Set a personal best in her most recent race of 3:44. Time was immaterial for those who either went down during the race or were impeded to some degree. It was a pretty chaotic one, that.
Here comes Dingley, one of the athletes caught up in the crash. Thankfully able to get back in and continue racing. And across the line is Joanna Robertson from Scotland, who will probably be heartbroken in front of this home crowd.
Well, Sharma of Canada it was who took the silver She's all smiles. Mel Woods is, of course, with that games record of 3:33. 7 seconds back with Sharma, the Canadian, and the bronze going to Ellis Cottas of England as well with 4:22. A long way back, but it's a medal.
It is a medal for Melanie Woods, but she would have wanted to, as all athletes do, you can only beat what there is on the track, and unfortunately a lot of the athletes caught up in that accident. And we just hope all the athletes are okay. You can see the athlete from Mauritius in the back, her chair is minus a wheel at the moment. I think we're used to seeing the odd crash in a 1500 metres and an 800 metres, but very rarely as bad as that, and so many athletes involved, and without it being called back as well. Here we see the crash. It's Alfonsi, the Mauritius athlete, who comes across.
Yeah, she did cut across.
Yeah, and then you see her cut across, and she takes out Sharma.
Do you think, Danny, you were talking about the compensator on the front wheel there for the Mauritius athlete? I'm not sure it was set. It seemed like her front wheel just had a bit of a mind of its own. I don't know if she was kind of between gears or between kind of settings, and it wasn't totally locked in. That was the only kind of explanation I could see there for such a sudden change in direction.
She may have just nudged her chair over. Sometimes they just nudge their chair with their.
You're right. When they push.
Yeah, they just give it a little nudge to move it over slightly.
Guessing Ellis Cottas, who did come across 50 seconds down on Melanie Woods, but it will be a bronze medal for the English athlete. And you're right, racing is. We saw Ollie Hoare go down in the men's mile this morning in the heats. He has been advanced through to the final. It's part of racing, it's part of our sport. When you take people out of their lanes and you put them into a pack, there are accidents, but that was really quite dramatic. So here on day 3 of the athletics and para-athletics at the Scotstoun Stadium, just seen a gold medal for Scotland and Melanie Woods in the women's para T54 1500. There's the full result. A games record for Melanie Woods, 3:33.39. Nandini Sharma of Canada, her closest competitor, 3:42.38. Thankfully, those two stayed out of the drama. And Ellis Cottas of England picked up the bronze. She navigated the carnage okay.
Well, the first field final for the men about to get underway. That is the long jump, of course, over on the back straight, right up close to the spectators in that back straight stand. Tajay Gale, the world champion back in 2019, starts here as one of the favourites. He's a super championship competitor, very, very consistent. World number 10 this year. Look out for Sathyanathan of India. He is the NCAA champion from this year. Coetzee, 5th in the African Championships earlier on this summer. For Namibia is in there. Regan Corrin of the Isle of Man as well will be in this 12-athlete final. Uroy Ryan of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. He's an 8:07 performer this year. And indeed, showing great form this summer, over 8 meters in his last 3 competitions, including in qualifying in here on Monday. So the athlete's going to be introduced to the crowd now. And, the man who is, in terms of personal best, the best of them all, Tajay Gale, 29 years old now, the 2019 world champion. 8:10 in qualifying here. That was the 3rd round after a couple of very modest jumps from him. Chris Mitrevsky of Australia, 6th in the Commonwealth Games back in 2018 on the Gold Coast in front of the home crowd. There's Steve McKenzie. Yeah, that roar tells you what you could see anyway. He's in the blue of Scotland, the UK champion, jumping 8:15 just back at the end of June. Sri Shankar, the Commonwealth silver medalist 4 years ago, 8:38 this summer. Jordan Turner, another Jamaican going in this one, 8:08 this summer, but he's an 8:13 jumper at his absolute best. Only 23. Sathyanathan, as I said, the NCAA indoor champion in 2026. Limited experience in major championships, though.
Isaac Kiwa of Kenya won their national title this year with 7.82. Liam Adcock, world indoor bronze medalist back in 2025 for Australia. Kelsey Daniel of Trinidad and Tobago won the NCAA title in 2025. He was 7th this year in the triple jump. And having a bit of fun in the post-collegiate season over long jump. Chanel Kotsi of Namibia will jump 10th. Went in the long jump, qualifying pretty well, was a penultimate guy into this long jump final. And Reagan Corrin of the Isle of Man performed brilliantly to make this final. Ryan of St Vincent and the Grenadines will jump 12th. So actually second in qualifying in the end, Ryan, with a 8.04, only slightly shy of his lifetime best set this year of 8.07. So watch out for the informed man. You have to watch out for Tajay Gale as well. Jamaica haven't won gold in this event since 1958. No medal since 1966, which is wild when you consider how often the likes of Tajay Gale and his teammates, Wayne Pinnock and the likes of Gale, they've just been so busy on those podiums as well. Kerry McLeod picking up medals or being very close to them. But this Commonwealth Games has eluded them as a nation. I wonder if Tajay Gale's really aware of that. The history he could make if he did manage to convert his form this season into a gold medal.
Well, he needs to pull one out of the bag here, Hannah, because his form has been relatively poor in his last two competitions. He was 7th in Monaco and 9th in Budapest a couple of weeks back. Oof. That, if he gets the green light, it's a really solid opener. Looks about 8.10, 8.15. If that's sand, that's him. Computer-imposed sand line across the sand is to be believed. He's a lovely technician. Maybe a little bit of forward rotation there. He does get the green light. He's fighting it there. Not the best leg shoot, but oh, there's the problem. Yeah, way behind the board, front edge of the board. Over 20 centimetres given away, and he still jumped 8.08. There's a big jump in there.
Good start from Tajay Gale. And I'm glad there isn't any rain falling out of the sky, because the long jump board can get pretty slippy when there is water on top of it. Tajay Gale has had some horrendous injuries over the last few years. I think one of those was slipping on a takeoff board, so he might be a bit nervous. Chris Petresky of Australia up next, 6th in the Gold Coast at home in 2018, 9th in Birmingham. 34 is best from a couple of years ago. It's not bad for Petresky.
I thought he took off behind the board as well. Let's have a look. Gave away a bit of ground on takeoff, I think. They've come a long way to support these Aussie athletes, haven't they? Yeah. Yeah, thought so. 25 centimetres, that's the record at the moment. Nearly 20 centimetres it was by Tajay Gale.
There are no medals for how much you missed the board by, unfortunately. It is always fun to consider what the athletes really jumped when you add on that gap behind the board, when you kind of view their potential over these 6 rounds. Now, Stephen Mackenzie's taken the kilt off, thankfully. I'm not sure that would aid his jumping, but it was a new Scottish record for Mackenzie at the British Championships this year. That's at 8.15. 7.75 in qualification yesterday. And that for Mackenzie, if he gets the green flag, that's brilliant for Mackenzie. When you consider that Tajay Gale just did 8.08 and this guy's lifetime best is 8.15, it has been given the green flag. A valid attempt for Stephen Mackenzie. Maybe it was just nerves in qualification, because he's launched a brilliant jump here in round 1. It's the same as Tajay Gale, 8 metres and 8 centimetres for Stephen Mackenzie.
Very slight following wind behind these early jumps. Mackenzie into 2nd place, plus 0.9 the wind behind him. They're getting a little bit of help from the wind, but not much now. Here could be a surprise package. The silver medalist from 4 years ago, Murali Srishankar of India. one of two Indians in this final. Went out in qualifying at the World Championships in 2023 and 2025. Both parents really good athletes. He's got great lineage. And this year, he's in supreme form. He's the world number 8 in 2026 with 8 meters 38. Not as far as his personal best. 3 years ago, he jumped slightly further than that. What can he do here? The Indian, an opportunity. Really good speed on the runway. It was very close on the board. Does he get the green light? Let's hope he does. And it is valid, yes. The green light comes up. I think it was possibly just beyond 8 meters, but not as big as it might have been. He's got great speed, nice height too. Good technician, isn't he? Really good leg shoot. Well, what's he been credited with, Trishanka? 8:03. 3 out of the 4 jumps so far, beyond 8 meters. Hannah, it promises a great deal.
Shashanka only lost out on that gold medal last time round on countback. Kwan-Nen and Shashanka both dropping 8:08, and that's the lead at the moment as well. 4 years later, different athletes, but the same distance at the moment. Jordan Turner up next for Jamaica. Second at the Jamaican National Championships this year, behind Tajay Gale. Windade at 8:22, but he's got over 8 meters a ton of times so far this season. Okay, not quite with his first attempt though, Jordan Turner. He does get the green flag though. That's a good indication that the athletes have got their run up right, made the right calculations during warm up. Side on here for Turner. Maybe not sort of crunching up on his heels as much as you like, just find a few more centimetres there, but 7 meters 65 for Turner, 5th place at the moment. It's been a brilliant first round so far to have Shashanka, Mackenzie and Gale all over 8 meters.
Would you believe that the wind was almost 0 for that jump? The flag's blowing quite stiffly over to our left, but he didn't get a lot of help with that one. Here comes the second Indian, Lokesh Sathyanathan. He's an 8:21 jumper, and that this year it's a big moment for him. He's accepted a scholarship in the USA. His dad, a good footballer. He has chosen athletics. Oh, that looks pretty big. Now, if he gets the green light, and I think he did, that looks okay to me, that might take the lead. He does get the green light to indicate a valid jump, and he likes it. Shattering away there to somebody in the crowd. A little bit of an adjustment, 2 or 3 strides out. That brings the center of gravity over the feet a little bit. And a little untied in the air there. I mean, really expansive jumper, isn't he? Sathyanathan, 797 there. I thought it might have been beyond 8 meters, but he's in the zone. That's a great opener.
That was a wonderful little exchange between him and his coaching support here. They look so excited and buoyed by that first attempt. Even though it was the other side of 8 meters, it was only 797. He definitely felt something in that attempt that gave him a bit of hope and a bit of positivity. It's time to head to the men's 400 hurdles. Just 2 heats here to qualify for the final. It's taking place on Friday night. 2 automatic qualifiers and then 2 time qualifiers on top of that. Apologies, it doesn't work, that maths. We've got 3 heats then. We have got 3 heats. Someone's just getting themselves ready. Start on the outside. Yashas of India, this year's national champion. 49 seconds exactly. His lifetime best set this year. Next in lane 7 is the national record holder from Bangladesh, Nazimul Hussain. And then we go to Baba Mahmood of Ghana, who's their national record holder as well, with 49.45. Kamarena Tisang of Botswana goes in lane 5. This year's African champion and the national record holder for Botswana, 48.32. Elio Muscate of Mozambique will take lane 4, two-time national champion. Not this year though, 2024 and 2025. No time for Muscate this year over this event. Rasheen Griffith of Barbados will go in 3. His first individual appearance here at the Commonwealth Games. He has been part of the relay squad in previous editions of this championship. And Denick Luke of Dominica goes in lane 2. Their national records. That brings us to a grand total of 4 national record holders here in this event. This is Seamus Derbyshire. Always brings the energy to his pre-race introductions. He's described that as part of his desire to be his authentic self throughout his athletics career on and off the track. Season's best in his last race, Derbyshire, 48.71. A tricky lane draw for the Englishman. Remember, first 2 across the line automatically qualify for Friday's final, and 2 more on time.
Set.
And we're ready for the first heat of the men's 400-metre hurdles. Good start from Tisang of Botswana. And the white vest there in lane 5. And from Griffith of Barbados, these two tearing down the back straight. A little bit ragged there. There's a slight wind into their faces. Might be hard to maintain the correct stride pattern. If we look at the athletes rising first, I think it could be Rasheen Griffith of Barbados in the yellow. Seamus Derbyshire working very hard in lane 1. He could have got himself up in the mix here from an unfavourable lane. Seamus Derbyshire into the home straight, but he's got company. He's going to come under pressure here over the final 2 hurdles. Seamus Derbyshire looking strong with 1 to go. Luke Denick of Dominica closest to him. So much change behind Seamus Derbyshire and Luke. And it's a win for Seamus Derbyshire, 48.74, so nearly beats his season's best. And as I say, from lane 1, that is super impressive. It's Denick Luke who came through for 2nd place. I'm not sure what happened to Camarena Tisang here. He was so good through the first 150, maybe too good. And then just struggled in the second half of the race there. But a smooth, measured run from Seamus Derbyshire, absolute perfection. Looked like he took each of those hurdles well in his stride, and Denick Luke as well, I think, benefited from the company of the Englishman. So England and Dominica getting the 2 automatic spots.
That was a beautiful run by Derbyshire, wasn't it, from that inside lane. When you're in the inside lane, you have the beauty of seeing what's going on outside you, but he had to attack it. He had to attack that race right from the start to give himself a chance to work those tight turns.
Oh, that's a huge hit there for Tisang. That was in the first bend, so he did well to hold on for most of the race, but perhaps the energy it required to stay in the race showing here in the home straight. Yeah,
he really did have to work to get himself back into it. Luke just shut himself down in the last 10 metres of the race. He knew he'd done enough. But a really smooth performance for Derbyshire. He was coming down the home straight. And he's still got such a beautiful hurdle technique. He's still holding his form beautifully. And even if, as he feels Luke come up on his shoulder, he's not tightening up at all. So it's an fantastic performance by Seamus from the inside lane.
And it was a good performance from his training partner this morning, Emily Newnham. They both work with Nick Dakin in England, and they've definitely arrived here at this championships ready. So there we see the hot seats. We'll wait to see how the next 2 semi-finals unfold.
This is goodness in the 3rd round of the discus. She's had 2 no throws so far, so she really needs to get one on the ball to move herself up there. She really launches that, but it's still shy of her best and her world record. But she just needs to get that mark on the ball now.
Good news for the triple of Nigeria was it was a white flag, so legal throw in this 26 metres at
26.23. That gives her 808 points, moving into 3rd place. Next up is Bree Cronin from Wales, currently sitting in second position. Her current best was 36 metres dead, thrown in the first round. In the third.
So Cronin was a 34.88 in the first round, and I think you're right, Danny. It's come up very quickly on our system that this was 36 for Cronin in the second round. So she's giving herself a few more points. She'll definitely know that Noah Chukwu is breathing down her neck, the Nigerian, on those 2 fouls, and then suddenly into the bronze medal position. And Cronin just giving herself a bit of breathing space. Confirmation of Heat 1 of the men's 400 hurdles, or semi-final one. Seamus Derbyshire 48.74, Denick Luke 49.07, and the 2 fastest time qualifiers at the moment, Palaksha 49.65. There's Tisang, who had a rough race really. He's come in with a very fast season's best, but didn't go his way.
There's the lineup for the second of the 3 heats in the men's 400-metre hurdles. Jake Minchell of England goes in lane 6 here. 48.53 this year is his new lifetime best. In fact, he's had 2 personal bests in the last 4 weeks as Minchell. Let's have a look at them from the outside. Kumar Tamilarasan of India, third in the Asian Championships a couple of years back. Very close to his personal best this summer. He's won 49.06. Ezekiel Nathaniel of Nigeria, 6th in the Commonwealth Games 4 years ago. He goes in lane 7. The world number 3 this year with 47.37. Jake Minchell goes in lane 6. There he is, 3rd in the UK Championships this summer. Came here with a win most recently in Tampere, 48.60, close to his PB. There is Tharanga Ratnayaka of Sri Lanka, 51.27, his lifetime best last year. He hasn't got any form this year. South African champion just one time, Dlamini Sabelo. He's been struggling for his best form in recent weeks, but he's a 49.06 man this season. Daniel Bowell of Papua New Guinea went down in his heat to the 400 here. Didn't finish the 400-metre hurdles heat 4 years ago in Birmingham. And Kipkori Rotich, 8th in the African Championships. He fell there, actually, finished outside 60 seconds. But he is 3 times the Kenyan champion, 48.99. His lifetime best. That came in Nairobi back in late April, the 24th of April. The national record for the Kenyan by Boniface Mucheru, set in Rio 2016. 10 years ago now, that's 47.78. So the first 2, remember, guaranteed a place in the final with 2 non-automatic qualifiers going through from these 3 heats. 3rd in the first heat was Yashas of India, 49.65, and 4th, 50.05. So if the 3rd place here goes under 50, then they would move into the hot seat. Well, the Sun trying desperately to get through here at Scotstoun Stadium. He's gone off very quickly indeed as Sabelo of South Africa in lane 4. He's blasting down the back straight. Also going well, the Nigerian Nathaniel there, second to left. He's the fastest in the Commonwealth this year, Nathaniel, and he's looking very smooth indeed there. Extreme left up picture. Also going well inside him, Jake Minchell in the red and white of England, but he's going to have to work hard here to get into the top 3 because there's good running still from lane 4 from Sabelo, the South African. Looking very smooth indeed is Ezekiel Nathaniel, only 23 years old, and he was 6th in the last Commonwealth Games when he was 19. He's tall and he's powerful and he's moving well, but here comes Jake Minchell of England. He's finished with a storming run here as Minchell. I think maybe the Nigerian sensed him coming back. He wins it by 1.5 meters, 48.69. The winning time there for Nathaniel. He was pushed to that a little bit by Minchell. That very, very impressive indeed from Nathaniel. He was able to respond when he needed to. Minchell 48.88. That's good running from the Coventry Godiva Harriers man. That's a club made famous by the likes of Basil Heatley and Dave Moorcroft, one-time world record holder at 5,000 metres. His coach James Wright will be delighted with that, I'm sure. 48.88 for Minchell in second place. He goes through all right, along with the winner Nathaniel from that second heat. In third place, Tamilarasan, 49.51. He does move into one of the hot seats, the Indian in third place.
Minshew had a fantastic lane there, didn't he? He was able to use Nathaniel to drag him round. through the 400 metres. Some beautiful hurdling from the Minchell as well, and he held his form beautifully coming into the home straight. The South African Sabelo just paying the price for that early attack, that he really attacked the first 200 of the race. But Nathaniel just showing his class, just pulling away a little bit as he crosses the finish line. But a fantastic qualification for Nathaniel and Minchell from England. You see Nathaniel, he's just so relaxed as he's coming down. He's done what he needs to do, and he can just relax across the finish line.
Yeah, he's had a lovely season. He moves on there to a place in the final. He was fourth in the London Diamond League in 48.30. He's run just a metre or two slower than that here this evening. I was impressed by Jake Minchell. He's still pumping hard there with the arms. At one point, I thought he was going to catch the Nigerian outside him, but Nathaniel rallied over the last 30 or 40 metres. It was nonetheless a good run from Minchell, well under 49 seconds. And that is really, I suppose, the benchmark of real world-class territory, sub 49.
8:09, he's gone into the lead by 1 centimetre for India.
Well, there it is, the two Indians in the hot seats, Tamil Arasan and Palaksha, as things stand at the moment. One heat to come.
Just 2 places.
Let's go back to the men's long jump, where there's a joint lead for Tajay Gale and Stephen McKenzie, the Scottish athlete, the new Scottish record holder.
Jake Mitchell
Getting up
challenging
close near to his new Scottish record of 8:15.
Working hard for a good time and a good lane draw.
I think he's had a bit of a drag here, a bit further back than 8 metres. McKenzie was so excited with that first round jump. Best finish for Scotland in this men's long jump historically was Darren Ritchie in 4th in 2002. If McKenzie knows that. Sometimes athletes know stats like that. Someone might have told them. Other times they're utterly aware. They wait until they get to the mix zone and someone tells them they've just done a best ever performance for their nation or something like that. Probably getting ahead of myself here for the Scotsman. Just round 2. It's 7 metres 92, so in this coach trying to find something to tinker with to find a few more centimetres.
So, Sri Shankar next to go. He's jumping straight after McKenzie, 4th in the jumping order, the silver medalist from 4 years ago. He opened with 8:08. That had a 1.3 win behind it. The Indian vests beginning to appear more and more prominently at these games. That's nice too, that's big. That might be better. Well, the game's record is 8:41 by Lubo Manyongo. I don't know if we'll see that beaten this evening. That was by the South African on the Gold Coast back in April 2018. Nice on the board there. Murali Srishankar. 8:03 his opener. What's he been given here? 1.3 win behind him again, exactly the same as in his first effort. He gets 8:09. He takes the lead there, does the Indian. McKenzie in second with that 8:08. Gale in third with 8:08. McKenzie taking second, the Scot, by count back with a better second best jump.
Having a look here at the call room.
Okay, so I need to confiscate these are not allowed.
For the women's shot put. Just giving a taping there. Del Nicol, who's now a winter Paralympian, here representing Wales in the shot put.
There it is, Ezekiel Nathaniel qualifies by right 48.69 for Nigeria. Jake Minchell of England, a close second, 48.88, and Tamil Arasan of India is in one of the hot seat positions. With just one heat to come. Are both these two, or neither of them, perhaps, going to go through? It depends on the 3rd and 4th place times in this final heat.
That's tough, isn't it? Because you don't want to knock a teammate out. At least they're both sat there together, and it'll be another nation that will knock them out. There's not a 3rd Indian here in Heat 3. There is a 3rd Englishman, though, Josh Folds. England would love to get 3 men through to the final. Nyange of Sri Lanka will go in lane 8, 49.03 set this year. Alistair Chalmers was a bronze medalist back in Birmingham in 2022. British champion this year. 48.53 is the season's best. Moses Karoma of Sierra Leone was disqualified in the 110 hurdles. It was a false start for him. He'll come back for another try at the longer hurdles. Asine Wilson, the Jamaican champion this year, 48.29 will go in lane 5. David Mulongo of Canada will take lane 4. He won their national championships just outside 50 seconds. He has broken 50 seconds this season though. And Matthew Hunt, at the age of 19, is the Australian and the Oceanic champion. Decent lane for him, lane 3. Here is Josh Folds, silver medalist from the British Championships. We've seen his training partner, Jake Minshall, make it through in the previous heat, and his teammate, Seamus Derbyshire, progress in the first heat. William Pekka of Papua New Guinea goes in lane 1. No time for him this season, Pekka. He has done 52.70 though, that was last year. Josh Folds getting himself G'd up, fired up for this opportunity here. First 2 across the line go into the final. Another 2 will get to join that final if they can run faster than Tamilarasan or Palaksha, the 2 Indian athletes, on 49.51 and 49.65. Pekka in 1, Folds in 2, Hunt in 3, Mulongo in 4, Wilson in 5, Karoma in 6, Chalmers in 7, and Lanka out in lane 8.
Set.
Pretty even through the first hurdle here, perhaps a fast start from Massini Wilson. And on the outside from Alistair Chalmers, always runs aggressively through the first 200 metres of his races. Look at the green sprint suit of Guernsey. Rising perhaps first out of the races here, Assini Wilson trying to live with Alistair Chalmers, the bronze medalist from Birmingham. But Chalmers holds the lead round the top of the bend. 3 hurdles left for these men. Alistair Chalmers looking full of running. Assini Wilson going well as well. Josh Folds trying to close fast from lane 2. It's Chalmers and Wilson for the 2 automatic spots through to the final. Time to celebrate. And Josh Folds across the line in 3rd, 48.92 for Alistair Chalmers. Another run underneath, 49 seconds for him this year. Not as fast as Ezekiel Nathaniel's 48.69. And a brilliant run from Alistair Chalmers. He had time to shut it down ever so slightly.
I'm here, baby. I'm here, baby.
Sani Wilson got a really, really good start and was really strong through the first half of the race. But also Alistair Chalmers out on the outside in lane 7. You can only do one thing out there, and that's just run your own race. It sounds a really simple thing to say, but it's difficult when you can feel people coming up and the stagger unwinding. But Chalmers is a really, really experienced athlete. So the only thing you can do is attack that race, and he did that beautifully. Coming into the home straight, Asani Wilson just trying to claw his way back. And he just looked, Josh Folds just looked like he stumbled a little bit going into that last hurdle. It just affected his momentum for the last part of the race, the last 30, 40 metres of the race. But Alistair Chalmers continuing his fantastic form this year. And a very, very proud man from Guernsey.
He does love to compete for Guernsey, Alistair Chalmers, and he's done them very proud here today, winning this men's semi-final of the 4 hurdles. Guernsey with a win here in the men's 400-metre hurdles. Actually just become a father as well in the last few months. Doesn't seem to have affected his performances on the track though, which is always great news. Confirmation of the results here. Ezekiel Nathaniel won heat 2 in 48.69 from Jake Minshall in 48.88.
Yes, and I can tell you that Tamilarasan does go through, along with his teammate, who was 3rd in the first heat as well. So Palaksha, excuse me, does go through as well. Both the Indians get the non-automatic qualifying spots. And now that, I'm afraid, is bad news for Josh Folds, who by his standards, didn't have a great run. He misses out, by the way, by 5/100ths of a second, and he eased off before the line. I think if he had just worked harder over the last 10 or 15 metres, he might yet have been able to dip to a place in the final. But he it almost looked like he threw the towel in the last 10 or 15 metres. He knew he wasn't having a great run, but it could have been a metre better.
We just about to start round 5 of the discus. A foul for Fumi of the Y in Wales with her previous throws, as she was stating.
Well, good crowd here this evening. The bit of blue sky beginning to show above us, and I think everybody putting their faith in the weather staying kind at the moment.
That's the men for the para discus, just getting themselves
Probably need to cover that.
checked out here by the officials. The officials will check their equipment here for any advertising that's not allowed out in the field of play. So check their footwear and their throwing implements. It's a nervous few moments for these men.
We did. We got a little glimpse of Aled Davis, the defending champion. Do you remember those days when you have your kit bags checked to make sure you've got nothing contraband in there? In my day, it was no phone, no camera.
Yeah, no tech allowed at all back in our
No
day.
electricity. Yeah. Are you that old, Danny? Well, the next event of the track, the women's 800 metres semi-finals, 2 races coming at us. The first of those gets underway, in about 10 minutes' time. Really high caliber, those two-lap races for the best women in the Commonwealth. Long jump continues over on the back straight.
Does, and we're still having a final check on the results of Heat 3. Across the line, it's Alistair Chalmers from Asine Wilson, but we haven't seen the results from that race yet, and they are on our system as having a final judge check. So when we do have those final results and we do have the confirmation of the 8 men through to the final, we'll be sure to bring that to you.
Tajik Gale then, 8:08 and then 6:08. That was obviously an aborted effort. That's a second round jump from him. He has ensured he will get 8 jumps, of course, in this men's long jump final. Good speed from Gale. Oh, I think that looked like a no jump. He was quite a long way over the front edge of the board. He's being really aggressive here. He can afford to be. He knows he's in the final of the long jump, and he is attacking these efforts now. Yeah, well, not as far into the plasticine as I expected, about 4 centimetres over that front edge of the board. Might make a little correction, just trying to see what the wind was behind that one. Gale, it was at 1.4. It wasn't a particularly strong breeze behind him, but we'll get a good look at it here.
There we do have confirmation of the result for Heat 3. Alistair Chalmers, 48.92. Asine Wilson, 49.19. And unfortunately, a disqualification for Josh Folds. Running on that tight inside lane. I wonder if he just had some difficulties clearing the hurdles. But here are the 8 men that will go through to Friday's 4 hurdles final, led by Ezekiel Nathaniel of Nigeria, 48.69. Seamus Derbyshire, Jake Minchell just behind, and Alistair Chalmers, the bronze medalist from Birmingham, 4th fastest qualifier.
Well, the women's shot put final, the next final to take place in the field. 12 athletes out there, of course. The big favourite, of course, is from Canada. Sarah Mitten, over 20 metres this year. Very close to her lifetime best this year. In fact, Mitten, but let's have a look at all these athletes. There you see the 29-year-old from Tonga, Ata Mama Tutafaifa. From South Africa, Ashley Erasmus. There, the Welsh athlete, Adele Nicol. 29-year-old's a 1750 athlete this year. Big roar for her. The Samoan, Nu Tulifano. 1734, her lifetime best. Although she hasn't thrown this year, it seems. Loydusia Cameron of Jamaica, 1882. She might be within the shot of a medal.
Karine McCann. Bacheta McCann for Gabon, and here is Jessica Oji for Nigeria. The 19-year-old is very excited to be out here competing for her nation. Next up is the Australian Marley Regiswasa. 1757, her best so far this year. And Sarah Mitten here to defend her shot put title. She won in Birmingham, the outstanding favourite for this title. Belinda Aboro of Kenya will throw 10th. 16 metres, 39 this season. And Manpreet Kaur of India will be the final athlete to throw. 1775 this year.
12 athletes out there then. Not warm, only around 14 and 15 degrees centigrade here in Glasgow at the moment. Only one athlete from the top 8 in the Commonwealth Games 4 years ago in Birmingham is in this final. That's the state of turnover in the Commonwealth Games in this particular event. And actually a stat for the long jump. Just getting my paperwork a bit mixed up here, excuse me. But a few minutes yet till those 800 semi-finals. First to go here in this shot will be Atamama Tutafaiva. 10th back in 2018 and 10th in 2022 as well. How about that? Couldn't do that if he tried. 10th in the last 2 Commonwealth Games. What can she do here? Can she penetrate the top 10? Single digits. Very, very fast arm. Wow. That down, looks down around 15 and a half meters, something like that. She's thrown 15.70 this year. Her lifetime best 16.61 was actually back in 2019, 7 years ago now, when she was only 22. She's a very powerful shot putter, and that fast arm enables her to put it out there a lot further than many athletes if they didn't have that fast twitch, that explosive ability. So what's she gone to with her opener? Straight away for some feed that bear to Tafaiva. Tonga, one of those 2 new nations in the Commonwealth family. 15.07 for Tutafaiva, something to build upon.
We're going to have a chance to catch up with Ashley Erasmus as well. Will be the second athlete to throw. She's the national record holder for South Africa. For the silver medal NCAA Championships, the American Collegiate Championships, in the middle of June. It hasn't competed since. I think that's okay. I think the athletes that compete over in that system have to compete so often. It'll be a smart choice from Erasmus just to take a few weeks to gather herself, because she's got an opportunity here. Improve on that 18.30 at all. She could put herself in medal contention.
Noah Guchugan in the 5th round of the discus. Seeing if she can extend her lead. She's really started to get into a groove in this competition now. Her world record sits at 36 metres 56.
So he may well be eliminated at the end of this round with only 8 going forward.
34.25, that seals her 1,055 points and a season's best. Remember, we said anything over 1,000 points is world class.
Noah Chukwu, you said it, Danny. She's really warmed into the competition there and just found an extra few meters every time, and to have 2 throws over that 1,000-point barrier is fantastic, and is putting her in such a driving seat here for the gold medal in the women's para discus throw. We're hearing that the men's para discus throw is just going to be a tiny bit delayed on their original start time. Perhaps it's taking a bit longer for these women to move through their rounds. We have got one more round to go.
Well, a disqualification there by Nandini Sharma of Canada to adjust the result of that women's wheelchair race from earlier on.
She was second across the line, wasn't she, the Canadian athlete? So perhaps being found at fault with that fall that happened. It was really quite dramatic. It was quite hard to tell what had gone on.
So there it is, the lineup for the first semi-final of 2 in the women's 800 metres. The first 3 go through by right, plus 2 non-automatic qualifiers. So the times do matter here. I'd have preferred to see the first 4 go through by right, but anyway. There is Kellyanne Beckford of Jamaica. All 8 of these women, by the way, have broken 2 minutes. Went down the heats of the World Championships last year and at the World Indoors in Torun earlier on this season. She ran 2:01, was third in the heat to get through to this semi-final. There's Chafika Maloney of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, 157 athlete, really good performer, 4th Olympic Games in Paris. Izzy Boffey of Wales, listen to that roar for the 26-year-old, great age group racer and now developing into a wonderful senior racer as well. She's in 6th. Lilian Odera, the reigning world champion from Kenya. And Odera, well, on the world rankings, she is high up there this year. Sekodiso, world indoor champion last year in Nanjing. She goes in 4th for South Africa. The Mauritian Rachel Kloffenstein came from Switzerland to Mauritius in March. There's Melis Trapo of Canada, semi-finalist at the World Championships last year. Canadian champion last year too. She was 2nd this year. And Erin Wallace. No need to even look at what colour she's wearing. The blue of Scotland, coached by Jenny Meadows and Trevor, her husband. Performed in the triathlon in the 22 Commonwealth Games, Erin Wallace. She's not broken 2 minutes this year. The first 3 go through by right, remember. Important to get this run right, but will it be a slow meandering affair through the first 400 metres, or will somebody take it out aggressively? Looks to me like out in the light blue, the St. Vincent Grenadines athlete Maloney has gone up pretty quickly, 2nd to left there. Izzy Boffey, great 400 metre speed. She moves in the all Welsh red strip into 2nd place behind Odera, and it looks like Odera here wants to keep this one honest and pretty quick, although it is indeed Maloney who hits the front first of all. Odera in 2nd, then the Jamaican yellow of Beckford in 3rd place. On the inside of the moment is Boffey. Towards the back of the field at the moment, Erin Wallace struggling a little bit to go with this early pace. I think it's fairly quick.
26.9 through the first 200 metres for Chafika Maloney. She's got loads of speed. She's very good over 400 metres. Lilian Odera, the world champion for Kenya, poised on her shoulder. Kellyanne Beckford, the Jamaican champion, moving herself up into 3rd place, but they're quick through the bell as well, 57.2.
Yeah, very quick at 400 metres. She's taken it to them, Chafika Maloney here. All credit to her for that as they go through 500 metres and into the back straight. Beckford of Jamaica on the outside. Trapo of Canada beginning to make a move now. The Canadian semi-finalist last year in the World Championships and want to go one stage better here. Moving through on the inside rather well is Boffey. Is she going to find some daylight there as Maloney continues to lead through 600 metres? At the back of the field at the moment is Erin Wallace, so we're going to see a big surge from her in that Scottish blue. They're piling up, they're queuing up here as they come off the bend. Odera looking strong there on the shoulder of the leader Maloney. On the outside is that yellow vest of the Jamaican, and she moving well at the moment is Beckford. And remember, it's the first 3 who go through by right. It looks like she might just miss out here, Boffey. It's going to be Odera who just eases clear at the line there over the last 25 metres. Maloney's 2nd, and that Jamaican vest of Beckford 3rd, and the winning time 1:59.39. So Boffey in 4th place for Wales. Wallace run out of it there, unfortunately. But Maloney and Odera definitely through, along with Beckford. Odera winning it by 2 or 3 metres. Very strong over the last 40 metres or so there. I think she had things very much under control. Maloney, credit to her for leading the race from gun to tape. Well, apart from the last 30 metres or so, that is. Kellyanne Beckford of Jamaica, a great run. Izzy Boffey, 2:00.24 in 4th place. And Klopfenstein of Mauritius might yet go through as a non-automatic qualifier.
Yeah, two-time qualifiers to come, and without any pacemakers, you never quite know what's going to happen. Shafika Maloney looked really good there. She's been very honest speaking about the fact she's fourth at the Olympic Games, but she hasn't got a lot of race experience. Into that Paris Olympics, she couldn't get in the top quality races, and she still struggles somewhat, surprisingly to me, to almost always get in those Diamond League races. So she's still building her racecraft. So for Maloney to lead for 750 metres ahead of the reigning world champion was very impressive. Adira has looked really good. Her first race in the season was a bit shaky, but since then, she has looked every bit the world champion she is.
Adira Maloney and Beckford guaranteed places in the 800 final then. Isabel Boffin, Klopfenstein will move into the hot seats. Erin Wallace just missing out there by 0.3 of a second for Scotland in 6th place. Always good to have home athletes in those finals, but Wallace just missing it there. At least missing a place on the hot seats, and a very nervous few minutes now for these two, Klopfenstein of Mauritius and Izzy Boffey of Wales. 3 times UK indoor champion Izzy Boffey, spectacular 157 indoors last indoor season, but couldn't find those legs here today. Adira looked ominously good, didn't she?
She did, and we're going to see Georgia Hunter-Bell, probably her closest challenger, maybe Sarah Billings as well in the next heat, but they should be intimidated by the ease in which Lillian Adira won that first semi-final.
Next up in the shot, Franceschini from Canada. Currently sitting in 4th place, looking to see if she can claw her way back. Her best throw so far came in round 4, 32.48.
Not quite enough to improve 31.55, so that means we have 3 throws left in the discus. It means we know our medalists, and it means we know the 2 of them.
31.55 sees her staying in 4th place at the moment.
In the bronze medal position, silver currently stands at 38.52.
Next up is Bree Cronin. She's had a few no throws, Bree, so she needs to get herself back into the rhythm. There's a no throw from Bree as she put it into the cage. But that will secure her bronze medal. Next up, Funmi Oduweo said her last chance to try and claw back that lead she had in the early part of the competition. That was a no throw for Funmi. So now it just means that the defending and now once again Commonwealth champion Unwuk Chukwu taking back to the circle to see if she can improve her performance of 34.25 that she threw in round 5. She threw 2 no throws in rounds 1 and 2, then got better and better each and every round. She was the champion in 2022. She's the current world record holder. Can she go any further? That was huge! Onwuchukwu from Nigeria puts out a massive throw. in her last round. She already had the win. This could easily be a new world record. 36.56 is the mark she set back in Birmingham in 2022. .39.66, an improvement of over 3 meters and a new world record. And Chukwu, Goodness and Chukwu of Nigeria, the Commonwealth champion. And once again, the world record holder. There's your winner of the women's discus throw. F42.44. She was a bit rocky in the start of the competition, a few no throws, but when she got into her groove, she really started to perform.
I think there were two emotions playing out there for the Nigerian, kind of knowing she was the best on paper and that she should be getting the gold medal. And once it was clear that that was going to happen in round 4 and round 5, when she had the better of Adebayo, I think that almost was a weight off her shoulders that she could go and chase that world record. And she looked super relieved. I think for me, Adebayo and Brie Cronin, silver and bronze for Wales, that delighted. Brie Cronin, she looked so nervous going into the circle, and for her final round throw, and I think it was just kind of trying to hold down those emotions that she'd got a medal, because she looked delighted once she was finished. Here's a look at the second semi-final of the women's 800 coming up. 3 spots through to the final. The first heat, they went to Lilian Madera, Shafika Maloney and Kellyanne Beckford. Another Kenyan out here on the track in lane 8, Janet Jekwemoy. NCAA finalist this year, 159.01 back in May. Sarah Billings is on 57.01. That's the Oceania record. She ran that at the Paris Diamond League. She's also 4th in the London Diamond League, so some good placings amongst the fast times. Oritul Noe of Botswana goes in 6th. That's their national record at 156, and she's done 157 this year. All of these women are in shape. 2019 world champion Halima Nakai of Uganda will go in 5, her best race, 3rd at the Doha Diamond League this year. Georgia Hunter-Bell soloed a 155.93 at the British Championships this year. That's her 2nd fastest time ever. Gemma Reekie of Scotland goes in lane 3. Picked up a silver in front of this Glasgow crowd at the World Indoor Championships back in 2024. Mankwabang Tsibila of Lesotho goes in lane 2. She holds their national record at 2:02.30. And the final athlete in lane 1, Adele Tracy, 2023 world champion finalist for Jamaica, 159.24 this year. Hunter-Bell, of course, a silver medalist from the World Championships behind Lilian Adira. Gemma Reekie, her career best, probably the 4th she found in Tokyo at the Olympic Games.
On your marks.
Away here in this second semi-final. The time qualifiers at the moment just outside 2 minutes for Klopfenstein of Mauritius and Boffey of Wales. They'll be, well, they could barely watch, could they, from those seats. The splits will be so important for these women if they want to get close to 2 minutes. Looks perhaps like the Lesotho athlete, Tsibila, is going to take the lead as they come through the first 200 metres. It's pretty quick, around about 28 seconds. Gemma Reekie well placed on her shoulder. Georgia Hunter-Bell moving for space on the shoulder of Adele Tracy. Those athletes in 3rd and 4th.
Yes, Boffey, watching this from the hot seats, will be praying that it's not too quick, but it looks pretty quick at the moment. They've gone through 300, about 44. It looks like it's going to be around 58 at the bell. Reekie well positioned there in 2nd place, and of course Georgia Hunter-Bell in the red of England are just cruising along there in 3rd spot.
58.69 through the first lap here. It was 57 with Shafika Maloney in the previous heat. What a run here from Tsibila of Lesotho. She is their national record holder. It was a brilliant performance to make this semi-final, and she wants to soak up every metre here in Scotstoun. Tsibila is coming under pressure here from Gemma Reekie, but she's holding the lead. At what cost, though, for the athlete from Lesotho? There goes Georgia Hunter-Bell. She takes no way with her. Sarah Billings weaves through the pack, as as does Adele Tracy, and suddenly Gemma Reekie of Scotland having to look for space, dropping wide, desperately trying to get in the top 3 here that will make the final at the Commonwealth Games. Georgia Hunter-Bell rarely puts a tactical foot wrong, and Hunter-Bell in the lead now with 100 metres to go. Billing is pushing no way wide. These 3 clear in the automatic qualification spots. Adele Tracy kicking hard, trying to get a time spot, but Hunter-Bell at a canter. 1:59.88 from Sarah Billings. Orutil Noe in 3rd. Adele Tracy does come across the line in 4th place. Keep an eye on those time qualifier spots at the moment. So that Isabel Boffey, 2 dead 24, Rachel Klopfenstein, 2 dead 48, and then you can see Klopfenstein. If you recognise Klopfenstein, it's because she used to be Rachel Pello and run for Switzerland. And, she's changed allegiances this year. All smiles from Georgia Hunter-Bell and Sarah Billings. I think those athletes doing just enough to secure their qualification. I was impressed with Noe as well. Showed great experience to come through for that 3rd place, great tactical skill. But Hunter-Bell, a couple of weeks out with illness. She had to miss the London Diamond League, so she was devastated to not get the chance to compete in front of that home crowd. She's in front of a UK crowd here in Scotland. She'll go to the Europeans in Birmingham as well, and she doesn't look like that illness has taken anything out of her.
Yeah, nobody attacked the third 200 metres there. They went through in 50, well, just outside 58, 58.6 in that second semi-final, but nobody really attacked along the back straight, and that's why the time lapsed. And Georgia Hunter-Bell, the only one under 2 minutes in that one. 1 or 2 athletes there might be kicking themselves for not having run a little bit more ambitiously, because if they had run harder, run faster, they could have maybe finished in 5th place and still made it through. But as it is, only the first 3 from that second semi. Really good news for Boffey and Klopfenstein, 4th and 5th in the first semi.
First bit of sunshine here this evening in Glasgow. Blink and you miss it, but Hunter-Bell making the most of it. Her teammate, her training partner, Keely Hodgkinson, focusing on the European Championships. There's confirmation of semi-final 2. Hunter-Bell, Billings, Noe. With that time of Orutil Noe, 2 dead 0.6. That's slower than the athletes that finished in 4th and 5th in the first heat. So confirmation that Isabel Boffey of Wales and Rachel Klopfenstein of Mauritius will advance to the Commonwealth Games final.
Well, we can go over to the long jump now as we see confirmation of the finalists. O'Dea, Hunter-Bell, Boffey, Klopfenstein, Noe, Billings, Beckford, Maloney, all of them going through okay to the final. For Lilian O'Dea, well, and Georgia Hunter-Bell. For me, it's between those 2. That's the big dust-up. The reigning world champion and the front-running Georgia Hunter-Bell. Now, Tajay Gale in this men's long jump final. 8:08 in the first round, 6:08 in the second round, no jump in the third round. Here he goes in round 4. The lead at 8:09 through India's Prushanka. Oh, that looks big. Look, you can see the superimposed yellow line there. That's at 8:08, and I think Gale might have just gone further. That is big from Tajay Gale. He's responded wonderfully there. Couldn't do anything in the second and third rounds to improve on his opener of 8:08. But Gale, the world champion in the sweltering heat of Doha 7 years ago, and he's been so consistent since then. Took the bronze medal in Budapest 2023 in the World Championships, the silver medal last year in Tokyo. And here tonight, the super consistent in championships Jamaican has gone out to 8:15, and he gives away 16 centimetres on the board. That was an 8:31 jump. Wow. He'll take massive reinforcement from that, because he knows there's more in the tank. He knows there's another 10 or 15 centimetres there if he can claw them out.
Lloyd Rissia Cameron of Jamaica. Finding her way out here. Nudging over 17 metres. Cameron was 4th in Birmingham. She'd love to improve on that. The Jamaicans have been good in the field. Winning the men's high jump. Going well over in that men's long jump. Rissia Cameron. Let's have a look. 17:40, so a very early lead for the Jamaican. And you've got a certain feeling that might be short-lived because Sarah Mitten is in the circle. She's overwhelming favourite for this title. It's up towards 19 metres with her first throw. She's number 2 all-time in the Commonwealth Games behind Valerie Adams, 21-24. Mitten won the title in Birmingham. She's trying to regain that title. Using every bit of the circle here. Bit of a smile there from Sarah Mitten. Thumbs up. 18:50 for her first throw.
And there we see that world record throw from the Nigerian athlete. And what she had, 39.66. And that meant so much to her. Unwachukwu, Goodness Unwachukwu from Nigeria, world record 39.66 in the last round.
Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you.
So the gold medal goes to Goodness Unwachukwu, second to Funmi Oduweu from Wales, and third to Bree Cronin from Wales.
Worth explaining there, the games record for Oduweu is because she's in a different throwing category. We've used the Raza points to figure out how those different throws compare to themselves, but great to see the Welsh woman get her own the games record behind that world record and games record of the winner. Head back to the women's shot put, which is still in the opening stages. Jessica Oji settles in, got an early lead with Sarah Mitten, 18:20. And Oji out over 17 metres. She's the African under-20 record holder, 18:31. So Oji still competing in the under-20 category. Just wonder whether she might hop off on a plane to Eugene for the World Under-20s. They start next week. It's a pretty tough turnaround, but a good opportunity if you can take it. So Oji in second place at the moment, 17:70 in the second round. Sarah Mitten looking for an improvement on 18:50. So fast at the end of her throw there. Dropping just short of the 19-metre mark. Be a tricky few weeks for Sarah Mitten. She'll be aware that some of her major competitors out on the circuit will be putting them in a training block and looking towards the second half of that Diamond League season. And Mitten will want to win this title, but she'll also want to be sure she can go the distance and be throwing well into August, into September. Or has she totally freshened up the Canadian for this championships? That games record has stood since Delhi in 2010 to Valerie Adams at 20:47.
Well, we're into the fifth round now. Chris Mitreski of Australia through the first 4 rounds. His best coming in round 4, 790, but that has him in 4th place. The 3 men above him, rather conveniently, the medal positions have all cleared 8 metres. Mitreski well capable of it. Oh, and he might have done it there. That black line, 8 metres, just left the centre of screen, and I think he's gone beyond that. Mitreski, who was 6th back in 2018, he was 9th 4 years ago. He'd love to get up there amongst the medals. Without him qualifying in the last 3 World Championships, without him qualifying in the Olympic Games, he's made this final. Nice height there from Mitreski, good leg shoot too. And he gets 8:02. Well, he eases over the 8-metre margin. Brilliant on the board, the Aussie. Takes him up to 4th place.
Extra drama.
Indeed, actually it does take him past Sathianathan, who had cleared 7.97 with his opener. So the Aussie in 4th place. Some people call it the worst position, but he's got 1 jump left in which to improve things, and if he can go up to 8:08, he might yet catch Mackenzie, who hasn't had his 5th round jump yet. The Scots in 3rd place. That wouldn't go down well here with a home crowd, but it would go down rather well back in Australia. What's the time in Australia right now? 8:30 in the morning? 9:30 at night? 9:30 in the morning? Lokesh Sathianathan then. 5th round jump for him.
His best is 7.97. Steve Mackenzie is the nearest medal with 8.08 in bronze at the moment.
Sathianathan.
Follow his lead.
Here he comes then. Sathianathan, an 8:21 jumper this year. No, that's not good. Well, his best remains 7.97. He's got 1 life yet left to get up amongst the medals. Great height there, but so much in the long jump depends upon raw speed down the runway, and he gives away. Look at that. This is round 5. The wind behind him there, plus 0.5. There really isn't much wind behind him at all. He ought to have nailed down that takeoff by now. It's a huge margin behind the board. 7.32 in the 5th round. It doesn't change anything. But he has been shunted down to 5th place by Mitrevsky's 5th round effort of 8:02. Next to go Tajay Gale, the competition leader. 8:08 is opener, then a couple of, well, no improvement jumps we'll call them. One of them was a no jump, and then an 8:15 in round 4 to hold the lead, a slender lead, 6 centimetres over India's Murali Srishankar. Srishankar won't want another silver, that's what he got 4 years ago. Here comes Gale. Good aggressive speed. Oh, and that looks big again. Does he get the green light to make it a valid effort? I think it looked okay from here. Yes, he does. But is there an improvement? Took off, I think we're seeing that he took off 33 centimetres behind the front edge of the board. He's given a massive amount of ground away there. 8:15 in round 4. He has a 6 centimetre lead, that's 2.5 inches. 8 metres exactly there with a 1.1 wind. He didn't make it even onto the board. He's just jumped effectively 8.33, but you've got to get it onto the board, your foot, and it's measured from the front end of the board, not where you take off from.
Stephen Mackenzie, that 8:08 in the 1st round. He was excited by it, he was inspired by it. I wonder if he let himself dream that he was going to be in a medal position in round 5. He's got to work hard to hold on to this. But Mackenzie in lifetime best form just a month ago, 8:15. Oh, hang on a minute, Stephen Mackenzie. What have you just done here? It was close on the board. Oh, there is a red flag. I'm liking the ambition here for Mackenzie though, Tim. He's definitely not settling. He passed his 3rd round attempt, just giving himself a bit of recovery, a chance to gather.
No, absolutely. Oh, that is cruel. Look at that, a centimetre beyond the front edge of the board, and it was massive. It was, I think, the biggest jump would have been the biggest valid jump, but it wasn't valid. That's the problem. I think it was about an 8:20 jump. It would have been a new personal best, maybe. But he knows it's there, and he's got to go for broke in the final round, hasn't he? He's got 1 jump left. Can he make it a monster and raise the roof here at Scotstoun?
So here comes Srishankar in the silver medal position.
Sri Shankar then. Well, 8:03 he opened with. He's at 8:09 in the second round. Then a couple of no jumps. This is round 5 jump. Seen Gale jump massive in the 5th round, but it took off so far behind the board, he was only credited with 8 metres. The lead is 8:15 by Gale in round 4. Sri Shankar here, 8:09 in round 2. He's jumped 8:38 this year. His lifetime best 3 years back, 8:41. He knows too, like several of these fellas, he knows there's a big jump in there. His sister, of course, Steve Parvathy, will be watching. She's a heptathlete. Round 5, India behind him. Ooh, that looks okay, but it's, I don't know, 7:98, something like that. No, didn't really get the timing right. He might have been stretching for the board a little bit. I'd like to see the replay of that run up and the takeoff. That's frustrating.
Scotland in bronze, India is silver.
That's his 3rd, 7:94 there. Yeah, I thought it was just below 8 metres. His best remains at 8:09. He hasn't been able to improve on the form of his first 2 jumps, 8:03 and 8:09, and he knows that was another opportunity missed. He's got 1 life left, just like Mackenzie, in 3rd place, right behind him.
Going into 3rd round here in the women's shot put final. Jessica Oji in 2nd place at the moment. 17 metres 70. Mentioned she has done 1850. That was indoors. 1831 outdoors this year. Oji just spinning around, pivoting there, right up towards the toe board. You've got to stay the right side of that for a valid throw. Oji, the 19-year-old, got great speed. Similar to Mitten, it's just at the end of the throw, sort of winds up that speed as she skips across the circle. Oji, awarded with a improvement of 17 metres, 87. She finds another 7 centimetres. Mitten, yet to find the 19-metre mark. Canadian skips across, stays in, and there it is, out over 19 metres in round 3. Keeping that trend of every throw getting a little bit further. It's 1850 in the first round, 1891. And now this for Mitten. Come up as 19 metres, 15 for Sarah Mitten. There she is, out over the 19-metre mark, and a lead of 1.5 metres or so over Jessica Oji.
Well, the Aussie Liam Adcock now about to take his next effort. This is round 5 effort, 7:74 is opener. He hasn't been able to improve on that. That's frustrating for Adcock. He's an 8:26 jumper this year, bronze medalist in the World Championships last year in Tokyo. And just in case any of you watching in Sydney are wondering what the time is, I can tell you it's about 5:37 in the morning, something like that. If you haven't glanced at your clock, I've been told by David Monty in New York. Thanks, David. Of course, I couldn't possibly have looked it up myself. But Noel Adcock, he'll be so frustrated with this series. Goodness me, 1, 2, 3, 4 valid efforts. That 5th round effort is a no jump. He's had 4 efforts in the 7 metres, 7.5 metre range. He was given a no jump for that. Wow. They are harsh, some of these judges. They are following the rules, of course. That looks, well, it's the roll forward of the shoe over in the, so you're breaking the space above the front edge of the board, and that apparently, even though you don't touch the surface, is a no jump these days. I question that element of the rule. St. Vincent and the Grenadines next to go then. Udorai Ryan, 7:93. He's lying in 6th place. That came in the 2nd round. We are in the 6th round now, by the way. Udorai Ryan, Adcock closing with a no jump. So frustrating for him when he knows there's big jumps in there. Roy Ryan has an 8:07 jumper at his best, and that form has come this year. Taking off way behind the board there. He's been in great form. He's been over 8 meters in his last 3 competitions, including qualifying here on Monday. But he couldn't find that tonight. How frustrating. Just as the sun has come out, so one or two of these fellas failing to find that the sun is smiling down on their efforts.
Since then, they stay in that order for 4, 5, and
Satyanathan in 5th place. We're closing in now on finding out the destinations, the confirmed destination of the medals. Still the lead held by Tajay Gale with 8:15. Sri Shankar 8:09 in second for India. Mackenzie of Scotland has one hand on a medal at the moment with 8:08. And Satyanathan, the second Indian in this final, getting a crowd behind him here. And this is a Scottish crowd, and if he were to go 8:09 here, he'd deny their man Mackenzie third place position, although Mackenzie has one jump left as well. The man from Bengaluru then, from a sporting family, his dad a football player. Ooh, that looked like it might have been a no jump to me. It looked very close to being a no jump. And he rolled over it. No, he gets the green light, but he rolled over it. Forward rotation, the feet, the legs are pushed down sooner than you want them. You can't execute the perfect leg shoot, stretch out into the sand with the feet, come through with the body behind it. There you see, he has to really battle that forward rotation and lose his distance. Satyanathan 7.62, a consistent series, but not what he'd have liked. 7.97 was his opener, and that remains his best, and he finishes in 5th place.
Satyanathan, a busy season competing over the American collegiate system, and 5th is very respectful. Christopher Matreski of Australia in his 3rd Commonwealth Games. He's going to finish the highest he ever has before. He was 6th in 2018, 9th in 2022. And at the moment, he's in 4th. 8:02, his best jump came in the 5th round. That moved him up this leaderboard. He's mighty close to a medal, though. Just 6 centimetres behind Stephen Mackenzie of Scotland. The Scottish crowd here will be trying their best to be polite and to be reasonable. And I wonder which would be the loudest cheer. Matreski soaring over to a really impressive jump out over 8 metres, really far into the pit. Or if he falls short of 8 metres and the crowd realise that Stephen Mackenzie has won a bronze medal.
Coach still down because they're still raking the pits.
4 athletes still left to jump, so plenty to play for, but Matreski has one last chance to get Australia on the podium.
7.70 and 8.02, all valid. Last chance to do.
5 valid jumps. Super impressive in itself. He's going to have confidence in his run up here. Matreski is off down the runway for his 6th and final jump to try and improve on 4th place. And he doesn't do it. He overcooked it ever so slightly. Christopher Matreski, it's going to be his best finish at a Commonwealth Games. But it means we have our medalists here in the men's long jump. Matreski, you can see there, just a total over-rotation. So impressive, his series across those 5 rounds. He had to give it absolutely everything to have a shot at a medal. Over the athlete, doing the debrief anyway with the coach.
So near, yet so far, 4th place. It's a horrible position to be in. A wry smile there from Matreski's coach, John Boas. You have to accept these things, take them on the chin philosophically. 3 medalists now to take their 6th and final round jumps, but it does guarantee Mackenzie for Scotland at least the bronze medal. He knows he can go better, he knows he can improve at least 1 position, probably 2.
Now it's the turn of the big men of para-athletics. It's the discus throwers. The men's discus throw, F42, 44 and 60s. In this lineup, we've got the defending champion, Aled Davis, and one of the most seasoned Paralympians, the big man, Dan Greaves.
5 Paralympic medals for England, Dan Greaves.
It's Dan Greaves, a 7-time Paralympian, Dan Greaves. From Grenada, Nickel Walters.
Michael Burian of Australia will throw in third, 46.16 this year. He's in good form. Sagar Thayat of India. India have performed really well all over the place at this para athletics and athletics championship so far.
From Trinidad and Tobago, it's Akeem Stewart. He was second in the Paris Games, second in the World Championships. Can he upgrade it here? The big man, the 3 times Paralympic champion, 8 times world champion, and the defending champion from here, Aled Davis from Wales.
Palitha Halagawela of Sri Lanka will throw 7th. He's on 44.20, that was a few years ago, 43.78 so far this year. Devendra Kumar of India, 52.02 for him, for the F44 athlete.
The Fijian athlete, Sitavini Konatiti, personal best of 28.55 thrown this year. And lastly from Wales is Harrison Walsh. He was 3rd in the Birmingham Games in 2022, 5th in the World Championships.
And Danny, just in case anyone's joined us between that women's para discus throw and this men's para discus throw, we saw a whole range of distances there, but aligned with those classifications, they're going to be punched into the RASA scoring tables, and that will help us figure out kind of the best throws and where the medals are going to go.
Yeah, we use a point system. It goes up to 1,200, 1,000 is world class, so the athletes are trying to get as close to 1,000 as they can.
So we know the 3 medalists in the men's long jump competition. Scotland guaranteed a medal. Steve McKenzie, the fabulous form he showed at the UK Championships to jump 8.15 5 weeks or so ago at the end of June. Is confirmed here today as he becomes a Commonwealth medalist, bronze medalist at least. I'll tell you what, that 8.15 was his first and only time in a competition over 8 metres. He'd never broken 8 metres before. He's broken it here today with his opening effort, 8.08. A fabulous opening effort, but he hasn't been able to improve on it. If he can get 8.09 here, ooh, it looks pretty useful. Does he get the green light? It was very, very tight on the line. He does. He might have gone further. He might have elevated himself past Sri Shankar of India into silver medal position. He needs 8.09, which would be the same as the best jump as the Indian. But because he's jumped 8.08, his second best jump would be referred to, and that would give him the advantage. Waiting for it. It's 8.06 for Steve McKenzie. Oh dear. He couldn't quite manage it. He needed just over an inch to move up to 8.09. He couldn't get it, but 8.06, that's a great series. He's 8.08 and he's at 8.06. Bookmark his series. 2 8-metre jumps in front of the home crowd, and Scotland have a bronze medal in the men's long jump. Quite superb. That is a coming of age for Steve McKenzie.
Shashanka, one last chance to upgrade from the silver he won in Birmingham. That was on countback. That was cruel for Shashanka. The smallest of margins sees him trail Tajay Gale in the silver medal position. It's just 6 centimetres separating these two.
Here we go.
Shashanka, 8.41 at his best, 8.38 this season. Very capable. If he can find that form, did 8.38 to win the Indian Championships. That was his last competition in preparation for this Commonwealth Games. Total focus from Shashanka of India. Round 6, final jump. Can he progress from silver up to bronze? It was close on the board, and I think either way, a tiny bit short here for Shashanka. It's going to be back-to-back Commonwealth silvers. Hopefully, in the next few hours, he'll be pleased with that. He'll realise how impressive it is to do back-to-back podium finishes, but right now he's just disappointed it wasn't gold. So in the zone, these athletes give up till it's over. As we measured at 7 meters 97 for Shashanka, no improvement. It's going to be silver.
Silver for India and Shashanka in the long jump. One jump there. Tajay Gale as
What it does do is it confirms Tajay Gale as Commonwealth champion for Jamaica, and that goes alongside their gold from Romain Beckford in the high jump.
Let's see.
Wow.
If we can get him
The
beyond
Jamaicans and the
850.
jumps
Here we go. Everybody
enjoying themselves out there.
A jump of honour for Tajay Gale.
Tamari Prince, remember, winning the 110-metre hurdles. They're having a good time of it, aren't they? And this is only the third day. We're not at halfway yet. That's coming up at the end of this evening's session. Can he put some icing on the cake here? Tajay Gale, can he widen the gap on those he's already beaten? Oh, I'm not sure he could. It was very tight on the board. It doesn't matter. That was an exhibition jump effectively. He didn't even need to take it. He does get the green light. 13 centimetres, in fact, behind the front edge of the board. My eyesight needs an improvement. Working on that. But Gale, 8.15 in round 4, 7.87 there. Couldn't finish with a flourish. It matters not a jot. He's Commonwealth champion. Tajay Gale, that goes with his gold medal at the World Championships back in 2019, the world number 10 this year. 8.10 in qualifying, 8.15 in this final, winning by 6 centimetres from the super silver of India's Murali Srishankar. And the bronze going to Steve McKenzie of Scotland with 8.08. There's something to show to your grandchildren.
We've already seen a gold for Melanie Woods in the women's 1500 metres wheelchair race on the track, and we were due to have that medal ceremony for the T54 athletes, but it has been delayed, as has the women's discus ceremony. We think there's been a bit of protest, a bit of reshuffle going on in that wheelchair race.
Yeah, well, we did see the Indian athlete DQ'd out there, didn't we? So.
No, it was a really tricky race to watch, that one. Massive crashes, and it looks like the officials are taking a really long look at the women's T54 wheelchair race, and hopefully we'll be able to bring that ceremony to you at some point in this session.
Tajay Gale at 8.15, Srishankar 8.09 for India, behind the Jamaican, and a Scottish bronze for Steve McKenzie there with that 8.08. His very opening effort. He must have thought he could build on that, but he couldn't get it. Fourth place there, so near yet so far for Chris Matrensky, the Australian, in fourth place, 8.02. That coming in round 5 for him. The first 4 over 8 metres.
Into round 5 in the women's shot put. Manpreet Kaur of India. Best throw so far of 17 metres, as they're down in 5th place. But that's definitely going to improve on 17 metres, isn't it? Well over the 17-metre mark. We had a reshuffle after round 3, just 8 athletes going through to all 6 rounds. Manpreet Kaur comfortably in the cut-off. The evolution, the development of the rotational technique among the female shot putters is so impressive. It used to be a rarity, a novelty, and now you see nearly all the athletes doing it to good effect. It's an improvement, 17 metres, 49 for Manpreet Kaur. Means it's time for the women's heptathlon 800. Here's the standings after 6 events. Kate O'Connor with a massive lead over Jade O'Dowda. Gold for Northern Ireland, almost certainly guaranteed if O'Connor stays on her feet. But Tori West and Ellen Barber are so closely matched in 3rd and 4th. The Australian has the bronze medal at the moment with 5,214 points, just 95 points or 6 seconds in 800-metre running ahead of Ellen Barber. Now, Ellen Barber of England, her lifetime best is 7 seconds faster than Tori West. So the Englishwoman has got to try and run away from the Australian, and the Australian has got to keep her in her sights. It's always dramatic when we go to the last event in the multis. Mfangan of Cameroon will go on the outside. She's in 15th place at the moment. Ali Rutledge of Scotland hasn't started this 800 metres. That's a real shame. Going to Hannah Blair of Canada. Lucy Woodward of Jersey has hit a couple of personal bests across these 2 days. Ella Rush of Gibraltar is in 11th at the moment. Brianna Stevenson of New Zealand in 10th. Sienna McDonald is in 9th as it stands. Anna McCauley has run really well. A couple of PBs on the track. A good long jump for her, sees her in 8th. Neve Emerson in 7th for England. Maddie Wilson of New Zealand is in 6th. The high jump was a highlight for her. Mia Scarey of Australia, very good in the long jump earlier on today. But Ellen Barber, the 28-year-old, will know the task that's ahead of her, as will Tori West. A brilliant javelin from the Australian catapulted her from 5th to this bronze medal position. Jada Dowda is comfortably in the silver medal position here. Not much she can do. Her lifetime best significantly slower than that of Kate O'Connor's. Each second here in the 800 metres worth 15 points.
On your mark.
Fair bit of crowd noise here. I think there's a lot of support for these athletes down on the track. I'm sure there'll be a lot of admiration and respect from the crowd. And Kate O'Connor has flown out to the front here. They're all falling over each other. They've got to stay on their feet. They want to undo the work of 6 events. And Tori West has gone absolutely tearing off here. She's got a lifetime best of 2:16. And she's got to stay within 7 seconds of Ellen Barber, but at the moment, 30 seconds through the first 200 metres from Tori West. That's pretty ambitious. Ellen Barber is getting caught up in it. Kate O'Connor settling into 3rd, and O'Connor, such is her lead at the moment. She's got a 17-second buffer over Jada Dowda. The gold is going to go to Northern Ireland. And it really is about this bronze medal battle between Tori West and Ellen Barber at the moment. West in 3rd place, leading the race. I don't know, she's trying to run this her own way.
Yeah, O'Connor here basically cannot be beaten. She can afford to lose by a massive margin, 20 seconds to most of them. She's up there in 4th place at the moment. This is a victory lap really for her, the second lap of this 800.
And Tori West, 63 seconds through the first 400 metres when your PB is 2:16, is incredibly ambitious. Ellen Barber almost let her get on with it. And now the charge comes from Barber. She's joined by her teammate, Neve Emerson, the bronze medalist from 2018. She's only completed 1 heptathlon since that season, and that was this year. Brilliant to see Neve Emerson running well at the front here. She's a lifetime best of 2:09, so she is capable of winning this race. Kate O'Connor goes past Tori West, bringing her teammate McCauley with her. It's a brilliant run from Anna McCauley, but Neve Emerson, it's lovely to see her winning an event here in Glasgow. Ellen Barber is treading water, but Tori West is as well. And here comes Kate O'Connor, the 2 Northern Irish athletes, Anna McCauley right alongside her. These 2 have had a tremendous day. Wilson closing strongly for New Zealand, but Kate O'Connor is going to win the Commonwealth Games title. And she's going to win this 800. It's a Commonwealth Games heptathlon best, that 800 metres. 2:10, just a notch outside her lifetime best. This woman is in such a growing force in the heptathlon over the last 2 years. She won the World University Games title amongst a load of global silvers, 1 indoors, 1 outdoors. But that is another gold for her collection. It's going to give her 6,569 points. Commonwealth Games champion for Northern Ireland, Kate O'Connor. I think the silver should be safely with Jada Dowda. We looked down, it was a lifetime best for Maddie Wilson. She was closing hard in 3rd, 2:11. Neve Emerson, a season's best with 2:11 as well. I think unofficially, looking down the results list we've got up here, Tori West has done enough to hold on to the bronze medal.
Well, what a couple of days Kate O'Connor has had. Truly dominant. 6.569 to 6.278. A massive margin. 391 points, that winning margin. That is exemplary performing in one discipline after another from the Northern Irish athlete. Jada Dowda, a battling silver for England, just ahead of Tori West. Well, the gap between them, what, 164 points, something like that. But when you come up against an athlete who is in peak form and gets it right in every single discipline, with no weaknesses, then it's a very, very tough challenge to meet.
And Kate O'Connor, she's going to want to look towards that European Championships next. Next is a couple of weeks ago away, and O'Connor loves to compete. She's very ambitious, and I think she would have learnt a lot across these 7 events that she could take into those European Championships. And we're just seeing Tori West confirming her bronze medal position, and look what it means to her. I mean, you're so tired at the end of that 800 metres, trying to count the difference between yourself and the other athletes around you. But Tori West, at the age of 30, didn't want to believe it until she saw it up on the big screen. She was 20th at the Olympics in 2024, 17th at the World Championships. But Tori West put in a brilliant performance for that bronze. But Kate O'Connor really deserves all the headlines from this heptathlon. Her and her father, Michael, work incredibly hard. They use a team of coaches to advise them as well. And that she's just made incremental improvements across all 7 events. And you could see, if you look back over the last 3 or 4 years, you could see it coming. But suddenly it all came to a head. Probably in the indoor season in 2025, you started thinking, who's this guy? Who's this girl? What's she doing? And she just carried that momentum through the whole of 2025.
You know what is special about her is she's powerful, she's good at the power events, and that, of course, is the basis for the multi-event, speed and explosive ability, and yet she runs a great 800 as well. But what a season she's had. Bronze medal at the World Indoors back in March, Commonwealth gold now, and the Europeans beckons. Now, who'd bet against her getting on the rostrum in Birmingham in a couple of weeks' time?
Sarah Mitten, best of 19:15 at the moment in round 3. This is Mitten concluding round 5. She's getting closer to 20 metres here with every throw. She's already got a lead by 1.5 metres or so over Jessica Oji. Mitten has definitely warmed up into this competition. Just clap herself here. Let's see what it's been measured at. 19 metres 88, so a big improvement.
Well, do you know what? Women's heptathlon winner Kate O'Connor from Northern Ireland. She wins that 800 in 2:10.45, and one of the athletes, ex-athletes, happiest of all in Northern Ireland will be Mary Peters, who was Commonwealth champion back in 1970. 56 years ago.
Good number of personal bests in that 800. Here's the result overall for the women's heptathlon. Gold for Northern Ireland and Kate O'Connor, a silver for Jade O'Dowda. Those two upgrading their medals from Birmingham. And Tori West of Australia, an inspired bronze, helped by a wonderful javelin throw and a brave 800 metres.
There is the classic shot from the multi-events that have been battling away these last couple of days in some pretty dreadful weather too some of the time, so they deserve an extra pat in the back, each and every one of them. Mitten surely heading for gold here. She has a lead of just over 2 metres from Jessica Oji of Nigeria.
Lodorisia Cameron, the last athlete that can affect the medals here. The Jamaicans in 4th place, 9 centimetres off the bronze medal position. She's done 17.40, Manpreet Kaur 17.49. Cameron doesn't seem to think that would be enough. But I don't know, it could be close here for Cameron. Maybe just on autopilot, walking out, nervous. It's 17.87. It puts her up into the bronze medal position. Manpreet Kaur has got an opportunity to respond. But Lodorisia Cameron making the most of all 6 rounds here. Manpreet Kaur, Asian medalist, 8-time Indian champion. does hold their national record back from 2022, 18 metres and 6 centimetres. She's just been surpassed by 38 centimetres. Oh, it's a foul for Manpreet Kaur. So she'll finish in 4th place. Larissa Cameron, it paid off, keeping her focus all the way till round 6. It's another Jamaican on another field podium. We've seen Tajay Gale win the men's long jump. Manpreet Kaur just overcooking her 6th attempt. And Larissa Cameron, with that 17.87, she actually threw the same as Jessica Oji. Those two athletes have got the furthest, same furthest throws, but Oji's second best throw, 17 metres 70, separates her from the Jamaican. So it will be, I mean, technically you should say at least silver for Nigeria. But the fact that she's now 2 metres behind Sarah Mitten, I think means it's going to be silver for Jessica Oji. The junior, the under-20 athlete, has put on a great show here in Glasgow. Her first senior medal. It's going to be no improvement, but there's a big smile from Oji. And a warm applause from the rest of the field. So impressive at the age of 19 to pick up a medal here at the Commonwealth Games. And I've said it already, but she is eligible for those World Under-20 Championships in Eugene in America that take place next week. Hope she can get herself on a flight, get over the jet lag, and put on a similar performance back in the Nigerian vest in Eugene. Big smile for Sarah Mitten. 19.88, her best throw so far. She gets the crowd involved. Canada really are ruling the heavy throws. It was gold for Cameron Rogers and Ethan Katzberg in the hammer. And now gold for Sarah Mitten here in the shot put. I think that could be, I don't know, I don't think that's going to be an improvement on 1988. It's going to be similar for Sarah Mitten. But she does retain the Commonwealth Games title she won in 2022 in Birmingham. All smiles for Sarah Mitten. Make sure she gets the maple leaf the right way up.
Sorry, fingers are cold, don't worry.
Confirmation of Sarah Mitten's scorecard. Final throw there, 19 metres 47, but the best in the 5th round, 19 metres 88. Congratulated by the Canadian heptathletes, who I think would have preferred the conditions Sarah Mitten had this evening to the ones they had yesterday for their shot put. Saw the full scorecard flash up briefly there, confirmation that Larissa Cameron, the woman on the screen, the Jamaican, picked up bronze. Jessica Oji of Nigeria picked up silver, and Sarah Mitten took the gold.
Okay. Like, nice last throw. I was rooting for you. I was like,
Jessica Oji posing with the Nigerian flag. I'm sure we'll see that a lot more in her career. Just the age of 19, she's got a bright future ahead of her. She has got a lifetime best, just under a metre further than what she's thrown today, so massive potential, but delivering on a global stage like this under the pressure of a championships and a senior championships, never mind a multi-sport one, but there's all those distractions and noise, is impressive. Confirmation of the women's shot put final. Sarah Mitten, 19 metres 88. Jessica Oji, 17.87. Her second best throw was better than Larissa Cameron of Jamaica. They both had best throws of 17 metres 87. Silver for Nigeria and bronze for Jamaica.
Well, the next event on the track, the men's 100 metres T47. 8 athletes out there, 4 of whom have gone under 11 seconds. And Danny, Crates, this promises to be a really, really tight race, just looking at the stats on paper.
Yeah, it does. This is for athletes with an upper limb impairment. But this is a great opportunity for Kevin Santos for England. He's had a turbulent couple of years, so for him to give a chance to get onto the podium. We start with lane 1, Hayford Adai, competing for Ghana. He won a gold at the Dubai Grand Prix. Kevin Santos, he missed out on Birmingham in 2022. He was a bronze medalist in 2020 and missed out on the Paralympic Games. Colin Mahalia from South Africa. He's a bronze medalist in the 400 metres. In lane 5, Mohamed Mohsin Ganagar. He won the Indian Para-Athletics Championships. Jaden Page representing Australia. He was second in 2022 in Birmingham. He's the only one left from that final. Dilip Gavit from India. He was second in the Indian Championships this year. And lastly, it's Jamali Richards representing Jamaica. So remember, this is for athletes with upper limb impairments. You'll see somewhere in using a starting block on the actual track so they can use it to stabilise themselves in the start. Some have prostheses fitted to their arms.
Well, on paper, Danny, he looks incredibly tight. I have to say, Kevin Santos of England, an opportunity here to take gold from lane 3. Lane 2 is empty. That would have been the Nigerian Onu, Christian Ifeanyi. Adai of Ghana in 1. Santos of England in 3. Malalela of South Africa goes in 4. India's Mohsin Ganath goes in 5. Page in 6 for Australia. India's Gavit goes in 7. And the Jamaican Jamali Richards in lane 8. Santos, 10.68 this year. Indian Mohsin Ganath, 10.63. Really good start from Santos in the red and white there, but it's going well, as also is Mohsin Ganath of India. It's going to be very, very tight at the line. They're coming back at him. Who's going to get there on the near side in lane 7? It's Gavit, takes it for India. 10.71. Delivers on the occasion when it matters. +2, the wind was legal, exactly 2 meters per second. And it came through late, it was absolutely brilliant. And it's a game's record there. Wow. He gave it absolutely everything through the second half. He had to fight for that so hard. And he comes through to take the gold. He's a strong 2. We knew he'd be strong late. Just recently, he ranked 47.6 for 400 meters in Bangalore. So we knew that he'd be better through the second half. That's so often the case with the 200 and 400 meter runners. And Kevin Santos, well, a superb silver for him. It was really tight. I thought he was going to take it. I think he led. In fact, he takes the bronze. Gavit wins it. The Indians take 1 and 2. Mohsin Ganath takes the silver. 10.71 to 10.83, and Kevin Santos just 2 100s further back, 10.85. But it's a game's record for Dilip Mahadu Gavit.
You said it was going to be tight, Tim, didn't you? We knew it was going to be a really, really tight race. The battle was between Kevin Santos and Mohsin Ganath, wasn't it, of India in lanes 3 and 5. But Gavit just came through so strong in the latter stage of the race. He had to make up at least 7 or 8 meters in the last 30, 40 meters of the race. He was just out there in lane 7, just doing his own thing. Santos and Mohsin Ganath from India battling away in 3 and 4, but it was in those last stages, Gavit's strength, the 400 meter man, just really, really paid off.
The first 5 going under 11 seconds there. Mohsin Ganath taking the silver behind his teammate. And Gavit, you're right. I mean, I reckon 30 meters out, he was in 4th place. Look, there he is on the far side. He had to work really hard, maybe third place, but the storming run through the last 30 there. I mean, he takes, what, 3 or 4 metres out of the other 2 medalists in the last 20, 30 metres. Very, very worthy champion indeed, and a brace of medals for India there. They've just taken a silver in the long jump over on the far side. It's been quite an evening for them. Tell you what, there's 1.4 billion people in India. They haven't scratched the surface yet in road running, in track and field athletics. We should all be a little bit worried about what they're going to be doing over this next 20 or 30 years.
They really are starting to make their mark on athletics at the moment as well, aren't they?
Well, that's more or less what I was saying. Field.
Gurpreet Singh picking up that brilliant silver in the 10,000 metres, and we were talking then about how it's not all about the shot put. We've got Neeraj Chopra starting his journey in the javelin throw. Apologies, not the shot put. Starting in the javelin throw tomorrow morning. That qualification goes ahead. He's brought the spotlight over to India. He's brought the attention to athletics for his nation, but they shouldn't be only looking at the javelin. There's plenty of talent to get excited about. Keem Stewart here of Trinidad and Tobago. Apologies, no. It's a throw ahead. Hangawela of Sri Lanka. 42 athlete. It's getting out well over 45 metres here. We're in the opening round. Got a lifetime best of 44 metres 20. He enjoyed that, as he should. 46.84, so he's added a couple of metres to his lifetime best. It's worth 992 points. As Danny Crates has explained very well to us, the Raza points, 1,000 points, is world class. Keem Stewart of Trinidad and Tobago, foul in the first round. He's found some form here. Well out over 55 metres. So Stewart, an F43 athlete. That is scoring is slightly different here. A season's best of 56.25. Keem Stewart has bettered that here, 56.59. It's worth 937 points. So that puts him in second place at the moment.
Well, there it is. Dilip Maharu-Gavit and Mohamed Basil Morrison Ganakath giving them a brace of medals in that 100 metres. Absolutely supreme stuff. The Englishman having to settle for the bronze medal. It was still a great performance. I mean, he gave absolutely everything, Kevin Santos. 10.85 for a season's best. When you peak on the right day in the season for a major championships, nothing more can be asked of you.
Next up, it's the medal ceremony for the women's F42 to 44 and 61 to 64 discus. What a fantastic competition we saw. Marie Todd, Minister for Sport, will present the medals. In this discus, we saw the placings change so much, but eventually it was Bree Cronin of Wales with a season's best, saw her to the bronze medal. And the silver medalist, Funmi Oruwei, with a round one throw of 38.52, a season's best and a games record, representing Wales. And the gold medalist and the Commonwealth Games champion representing Nigeria is Goodness Nwachukwu with that world record throw of 39.66 in the last round. She had already secured that gold medal position, but she wasn't content with that. She wanted that new world record. She took a while to get going, but when she did, she just got better and better and better. Gold medalist, women's discus.
Once again, please show your appreciation to the Commonwealth Games medalists.
Brilliant medalists here in the women's paradiscus. The men's paradiscus is still ongoing on the infield. They've just gone over the halfway point there. But Noah Chukwu of Nigeria, a foul in the first 2 rounds, and then she hit her rhythm. And for me, it was only once she'd secured gold across the head of these 2 brilliant Welsh women that she started to relax. And it unleashed that world record performance. And she looked absolutely delighted. Smiles all round Oduwene and Cronin as well, particularly Cronin with that bronze medal. She could barely hold it together in her final few throws here in Glasgow.
Up in the circle is Aled Davies for his second attempt. Sorry, that was his 3rd round attempt. Aled Davies fouled in his 2nd one. That looked huge. He has a season's best of 49 metres. He looks happy. 48-38, that's 1,020 points for Aled Davies. Sitting comfortably in first place.
Our last shot of a call room, I think, for day 3 here at the Commonwealth Games, and it's the women's 3,000-metre steeplechase. Where are they? There they are. Perith Chemutai, the 2021 Olympic champion, just getting her number pinned on here on the left-hand side. Sarah Tate, the local athlete, getting some well-deserved attention as well. But Chemutai is having a really good season. She fell in Tokyo last summer at Chemutai. She was trying to lead the final, and it all came unstuck for her. So a chance for redemption, perhaps, for the Ugandan this evening. She just faced Faith Cheretich, the woman who managed to get across the line first in Tokyo. Final for the women's steeplechase, not due off for another 10 minutes or so, and that gives us a chance to soak up a bit more of the men's para-discus final.
Hakeem Stewart currently sitting in 3rd place, takes to the circle. He has a 56-59 from round 2. That's not going to be enough to move him further up.
And we had a reshuffle after 3 rounds, as we're doing with all the field events here in Glasgow. So Hakeem Stewart is in that bronze medal position at the moment. 2 more athletes here in round 4. Only 8 taken through to these final 3 rounds. An achievement in itself to make the top 8 cut at the Commonwealth Games. Halgala Hawela of Sri Lanka up next, already thrown a personal best in the first round, 46.84. throwing his feet off, and we were speaking about the hammer throw women last night, and they weren't even bothering to do that. That's quite normal in damp conditions, especially if the grass is slightly wet. The athletes go and wipe their feet off on the towel first. Helga Alajuela lining up. He's in the silver medal position at the moment, just short of 45 metres here, so that's not going to better his 46.84 from round 1.
Helga Alajuela remains in second place, and the leader will have the final throw in round 4. 2 rounds to come, but this is
Helga Alajuela will just have to try again. He's on 992 points. He's very respectable at the moment, though. He's chasing 1,020 points with Aled Davies, though. There is the Welshman.
Aled Davies currently in the lead with 48.38, 1,020 points. He's the defending champion. He looks so composed when he throws. That's not going to be as far. He knew, didn't he? As soon as he let that go, it wasn't going to be far enough. 45.15 for Aled Davies in round 4. We now progress into round 5 of the discus. We will lose 2 athletes and rearrange.
Men's long jump medal ceremony coming up.
Please welcome the medalists.
It's going to be a bit of a cheer here from the Scottish crowd, because there was a Scottish medal, bronze medal for Stephen McKenzie.
The medals and gifts will be presented by Secretary General CGA Ghana, Mohamed Hassan. And President CGA Dominica, Billy Dontro. Bronze medalist representing Scotland, Stephen McKenzie.
A lovely reception for Stephen McKenzie. He was 8.08 in the first round. Let's put him on the 3rd step of the rostrum here. A brilliant jump from an improving young man. He's already hit a lifetime best of 8 metres 15 this season. He did manage an 8.06 in round 6 as well, but nerves of steel to sit in the medal position throughout those rounds, and he'd be delighted he held that all the way to the end. Shashanka of India got silver in Birmingham, and it's silver again here in Glasgow. 8.09 his best jump, that came in the 2nd round. Nice to see Shashanka having a smile. He looked a bit despondent out of the pit when he realised it was going to be a 2nd consecutive silver.
Gold medalist and Commonwealth Games champion representing Jamaica, Tajay Gale.
Tajay Gale won the World Championships back in 2019 with a massive leap of 8 metres 69, and still one of the furthest jumps ever. And he's been riddled by injuries ever since. Some really significant injuries would have been career-ending for many other athletes, and it's great to see him on any rostrum. It's gold today for Tajay Gale with 8 metres and 15. That came in round 4. Taja Gale spoke to our reporter in the mixed zone, Rona McLeod, and said he's really enjoyed his experience here in Glasgow, despite it being slightly cold, which is a fair enough assessment from a Jamaican visiting Scotland. And, there we go, smiles for all three, Taja Gale, Shashanka, Stephen Mackenzie. Oh, Mackenzie, I'm not sure he's looking a bit steely there, but I'm sure he'll be celebrating later. So that brings Jamaica to 3 gold medals overall, alongside Canada and Australia. Those 3 well placed. Australia are leading the way overall, their medal tally. As Harrison Walsh of Wales steps into the circle. He's a team captain for Wales alongside Olivia Breen. Oh, a bit tricky there for Walsh. It's almost as though he slipped on a little patch of water or something there. Yeah, disappointment there for Walsh. He's in 5th place. He's got 1 more try to improve on that. Walsh was 5th at the last World Championships. He did get the bronze in Birmingham though, so I think he'll be disappointed if we can't find something here. It's Akeem Stewart in bronze at the moment on 937 points. Walsh done at 892.
Stepping in is Dan Greaves, currently sitting in 4th place with that throw of 54.83. Sitting on 903 points. Dan is a really experienced athlete, 7 times Paralympian. That is huge. But not going to be quite enough there. It's over the 50-metre mark, but it's going to be slightly shy of his 54.83 he's already got, and I think he knows that. A little grimace as he walks away, he knows.
Do you reckon the number of competitions Dan Greaves has done, he even needs anyone to measure it?
54.83. I think you're right. I think they can probably within a few centimetres, because they haven't, you know, they haven't got the hindsight of sitting up high like we have. They're at ground level, but I think, you know, I think they have a very good idea. They know as soon as it leaves their arm, they don't even need to see it land.
I reckon Dan Greaves would be accurate to 10 centimetres or so on feel. But Akeem Stewart, Trinidad and Tobago, just 1 valid throw so far, 56.59. And it's going to be around about the same here. You could see one official indicate to the other where to put the measuring stick in. That they can't see that superimposed line of the best throw. It's going to be around about the same for Stewart. It's come up on my system of 56.82, so it is going to be a small improvement. And just a reminder here in the men's para discus, we've got a range of classifications all competing together. The lower the number on the classification, the more severe the impairment. So Aled Davis in 1st place at the moment. He's at F42, as is Halga Hawela of Sri Lanka. So they haven't thrown as far as the other athletes who are just positioned behind them. But thanks to the RASA table that allows us to amalgamate these different classifications together, which is good. It leads to good competition. It can be slightly confusing for the viewers, so myself and Danny Crates and Tim Hutchings really are doing our best to keep you across, you know, why you might see a shorter distance in a higher position, and that's because it's been crunched through those RASA scoring tables, and it's been awarded more points.
I'm just glad we don't have to work it out on paper.
Yes, I'm sure there's many a commentator thinking, it's a luxury, these guys are getting it up on their graphics straight away. Halga Hawela is on the best of 992 points, 46.84. That's putting him in silver at the moment. No improvement here in the 5th round. It's going to be much closer to the 40-metre mark. And I like your reference here of 1,000 points being world-class, and the reminder that 1,200 points is the maximum. So the Sri Lankan right up towards 1,000 points. Aled Davis over 1,000 points at the moment. 48.38 his best throw. 1,020 points.
And here is the proud Welshman, Aled Davis, stepping into the circle for his 5th round throw. You can see that massive puddle of water just before they step in as well. You've got to be careful where you throw your towel. I once in a punditry said that Ali just chucked things.
Professional chucker.
He's a professional chucker. Yeah. I then ran because he can move as well.
Yeah, didn't quite hit that one right, Alan Davis. And a very natural competitor for me, Alan Davis. He seems to take it all in. There's some guys that have to have the blinkers on that can't lift their head up and hear the crowd and take it all in context. But Davis will know he's got to make every 6 throws count here. Women's steeplechase next up on the track. An intriguing final ahead of us. On paper, should be a two-way battle between Faith Cherotich of Kenya and Pereth Chemutai of Uganda. Look how closely matched they are on lifetime best and season's best. Both of them 8:48 in their careers, 8:51 this year.
Let's get ready to welcome the 10 athletes who contest this women's Commonwealth.
Let's have a look at all 10 of the competitors. Carrie Hughes goes on the outside, the Welsh record holder from last year, 8:41. She's fairly new to the steeplechase event.
Cara Fane Ryan of Australia.
Cara Fane Ryan goes next on the lineup. Celestine Biwott of Kenya, 22-year-old, has done 9:17 this year. Elise Thorner has improved massively this season, 9:07, her new lifetime best. She's nearing in on the national record of Lizzie Bird of 9:04. Caitlin Stewart Barnett of Canada next in the lineup. Asian Games silver medalist Parul Chowdhury, 9:12, big improvement for her this year. Could she get in for a shot of a medal? Sarah Tate of Scotland, 9:18 personal best. She's coming back from a horrible injury sustained in Tokyo when she fell over. Chemutai fell over in Tokyo as well. She's a former Olympic champion. Faith Cherotich took the title in Tokyo. Such a turn of pace to overturn favourite Winfried Jarvi that day last September. Grace Featherstone-Hart, final athlete here for Canada. So Elise Thorner, for me, she's got a decision to make, as has the Indian athlete. Just making her way to the start line. Parul of India as well. She's got an opportunity, Parul Chowdhury and Elise Thorner, to go with Pereth Chemutai and Faith Cherotich. Or do they let them go and try and win the race of the rest? It looks like they're taking that second option at the moment. Pereth Chemutai loves to push from the front, and she got it wrong in Tokyo last year for me. She fell fairly early on in the race, I think could have been the first mile, around about the halfway point. And for me, it was because she was tired, she was fatigued, and she put this pressure on herself to lead the race, and it just didn't work. But this season, Pereth Chemutai has looked pretty good. She's looked good on the circuit, winning in Shanghai, winning in Xiamen, both in 8:51, but Faith Cherotich is always right there behind her.
It is one of the clashes of the games. I think these two, and the pictures underline that as they push on ahead of the rest. Hannah Chemutai here, while running with real confidence and aggression and testing the others. And I do think that Britain's Elise Thorner has a good chance of picking up a medal here, but she needs to run aggressively herself. She's back in 4th place, I think, leading that pack at the moment, and she's just got to make sure she keeps at least a bronze medal position within range, because the leading pair are really pouring it on here. Now, the wind is not very strong. It's won't be in their faces very much on the back straight. They're quite sheltered, I think, here this evening, and this could be a special time that's on here, because these two seem determined to exchange blows.
They're not giving an inch, are they? They're just coming up to 600 metres into this race. Pereth Chemutai swung wide at that barrier coming into the start-finish line here. And, Faith Cherotich just said, no, I'm not overtaking. See, again, Chemutai just steps wide to the outside. It's Celestine Biwott of Kenya in 2nd place at the moment. And I don't know, I'm surprised not to see anyone else have a go at running with these two. We've perhaps got to wait and see the first kilometre split to understand quite how fast these two are moving.
Well, if our system is to be believed, our computer system is to be believed, they went through 400 metres in 64.7. I'm not sure that's right, because that's about 8:10 tempo. So it's super quick, even quicker than that, actually. It's about 8:05 tempo, but these two are forging a very, very quick pace. The gap behind them now is about 30 metres. They've only been running 2.5 minutes.
Here we go, second water jump, safely navigated by both of these top athletes. And I don't know, Tim, it would make sense if they went that quickly. The first 400 should be accurate. They didn't cut in for the water jump, so that will be a circuit of the track. But we're going to get the first kilometre split any second now. And 3 minutes is 9-minute pace. That's incredibly fast for any of the women in this field. And there we go, 2:55. They're on 8:45 pace. Keep in mind, the world record is 8:44. I'm not sure they'll manage it tonight without any pacemakers. But in terms of high-quality athletes, you couldn't ask for a better partner in crime or a partner in chasing a fast time. Chebotai and Cheritic are two of the best steeplechasers we've seen ever, and certainly right at the moment.
Well, Elise Thorner is leading the chasing pack now. She's up into third place. She's gone through in just outside 3 minutes, so she's on schedule for a massive personal best herself as that leading pair pushes on. I think they could, if they can keep this middle kilometre healthy, if Chebotai, who leads, or rather Cheritic, if she comes past Chebotai and takes on a little bit of the burden here, then we may yet see a super fast time, something down there around 9 minutes or quicker. But it will need both of them to contribute. And at the moment, Chebotai isn't really letting Cheritic go past here. It's a strange tactic. She is the Olympic champion from Tokyo 2021, but she seems determined to hold that lead and keep pushing.
At least Perith Chebotai is consistent with that dip to the outside of the track, and she's doing that just to give her a few sideways strides. It kind of slows the athletes down as they come into the barrier, gives them a chance to sight that barrier a tiny bit easier. It's not tactics, it's not Perith Chebotai trying to confuse Faith Cheritic behind her. It's just her using her favoured tactics to attack a barrier further down the field. Fane Ryan of Australia just ahead of Featherstone Ha and Carrie Hughes. They're battling around about 6th, 7th and 8th.
Well, the gap behind them is massive, but Elise Thorner at the moment trying to shake off the other Kenyan in this one. That's Celestine Biwott, who's clinging onto her coattails. And I don't know how Thorner is going to get rid of Biwott. Biwott is a 9:17 athlete at her best. Maybe just wait until the latter half of the race. Thorner, remember, is a 9:07 performer, and surely here is indicating that she's in personal best form.
Bit of a stutter into water jump there for Perith Chebotai, maybe starting to get tired. But his fine motor skills are sighting that barrier doesn't deteriorate through the race. Chebotai absolutely determined to lead here. Thorner joined there by Biwott Chowdhury of India, trying to improve on the best ever finish for India. That was 5th place back in 2010. She's in that position at the moment. But Fane Ryan of Australia doing a good job of trying to claw herself back into top 5 position.
Well, if the time is anything like 6 minutes at 2K, then we might yet see a sub-9-minute performance here tonight. The Commonwealth Games record, 9:15. That is going to get absolutely smashed. I think we can say that already with some confidence. It is Cheritic, though, who's taken over the lead here in this middle kilometre, although I'm not sure she's really pushing it on.
So it was 2:55 for the first kilometre. I think we could be on for more like a 3:05 here in the second kilometre. There we go, the leaders through in 6:02, so it's slowed to 3:07. And curious pace decision here from Perith Chebotai. Maybe it's all in her tactics. The sprint finish for Faith Cheritic in Tokyo was really intimidating. I do think Perith Chebotai should do anything she can to dampen that. Maybe that was the motivation for the blistering fast first kilometre. Elise Thorner, though, as we enter the last third of the race, the Englishwoman is starting to pull clear of Celestine Biwott.
She is, yes, she's running really smoothly here, coached by Helen Clitheroe, herself European indoor champion on the flat 3,000 metres is Elise Thorner, studies at the University of New Mexico. That's at altitude in Albuquerque, of course. Runs from Wells City Harriers down in the West Country. They'll be screaming her on here, Elise Thorner, as we could see an English bronze here. She's got a bit of daylight now, and if anything, she might be closing up with that leading pair. She's got about 35 metres behind her. Barring disaster, she's assured herself of a bronze medal here, Thorner. And the gap between her and the leading pair is down to about 25 metres.
Faith Cheritic has taken the lead, but she's not really kicked yet. Cheritic and Chebotai coming through with just under 600 metres to run, because they'll cut to the inside. And you're right, Tim, Elise Thorner is just chipping away at these two. If Cheritic door open for Elise Thorner to join them.
She is absolutely flying, the English athlete there in third place. 9:07 her personal best. She could be on for something quicker there. Remember the time at 2006.02 for that leading pair. She was quite some way back at that point, but the gap now is 10 metres. She's gaining with every single stride.
The bell for Faith Cheretich, the world champion, leading the Commonwealth Games, hurdling so well. She's got the better of Perith Chemutai here. The Ugandan with a blistering fast first kilometre, 2:55. It was 3:07 for the second kilometre. It hasn't phased Faith Cheretich. She skips over the barrier and enters the back straight. Perith Chemutai picked up a bronze in Birmingham. She was caught by Lizzie Byrne in very similar fashion. It's going to be déjà vu for Perith Chemutai. Elise Thorner on the back straight goes into the silver medal position, and Thorner giving it everything with 200 metres to go. But Faith Cheretich, at the age of 22, has forged a CV for herself that any athlete would like at the very end of their career. It was a bronze at the World Championships in 2022-23, a bronze at the Olympics in 2024, and then gold in Tokyo last year. And today, here in Glasgow, it's going to be another gold for Faith Cheretich. The title stays with Kenya. Jacqueline Chepkoech won it last year. The Games record was set last year, but now it has been lowered in fantastic style to 9:01 by Faith Cheretich. Another Games record, a 2:59 closing kilometre. A sensational silver for Elise Thorner, a well-judged race, and Perith Chemutai, bronze again, the same position that she managed in Birmingham. Cara Finn Ryan of Australia comes through for fourth place. Parul Chowdhury of India for fifth, closely followed by Grace Featherstone Hart in sixth.
Wow, what a run from Elise Thorner to separate the two East Africans. She stormed through the second half of that race, gaining ground. I mean, she ran easily the fastest second half of the race behind that leading pair. It was a comfortable win after all, of course, for the champion now, Faith Cheretich, in that brilliant Games record. What a shame she couldn't get under 9 minutes, but 9:01 is super quick. But it's Elise Thorner there with a personal best, very close to the British record, 9:04.
I wrote in my notes before this race that Games record of Jacqueline Chepkoech, 9:15, that all three medalists could be underneath that. Such is the form of the athletes that lined up today in Glasgow, and that was the case. A new Games record, 9:01 for that woman, Faith Cheretich. And to get that close to 9 minutes in a championship race, it's very impressive. Elise Thorner, 9:05, around about a second behind Lizzie Bird's national record, but matches the performance of Bird in Birmingham by picking up a silver medal for England. And Perith Chemutai, 9:09 in the end. We're looking here at the race. I don't know if this is 1 lap to go or 2 laps to go, and that was a fall, heavy fall for Celestine Biwott. That's a real shame for the second Kenyan woman. I did wonder why she'd fallen so far down the field
exactly.
in the last couple of laps.
She was suddenly a long way behind Thorner, having dogged her heels for several laps, but this is Thorner roaring past Chemutai. Cheretich, unfortunately, for English fans, was gone. But I'll tell you what, it's a characterful run from Elise Thorner. Cheretich we knew would be strong. She's a reigning world champion. That was never in doubt. But Thorner here, broaching new ground. And I'll tell you what, with a calibre of that run, Hannah, I think she's got a sub-9 minute run in her. Maybe it'll come in Birmingham at the Europeans in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, that...
Akim Stewart of Trinidad and Tobago, 56.82.
Wow!
2017 World Championships. His rise of points total 56.82 is 941. 992 is where the silver medal is, and 1,020 is where the gold is. 54.37, so he will take the bronze medal for Trinidad and Tobago. 2 throws to come. Those are the standings on the scoreboard. Rows of points on the right-hand side are the key indicator of medal positions. So this is Malinda Amahuela of Sri Lanka with his final throw. He's already won it with over 1,000 lots of points, and now the new champion will enter the circle for the final time. How's your rhythm, man? We await his instructions on this one. 8 Paralympic and World gold medals, and now Commonwealth Games gold. The first for Wales. Yeah, here we go. It's a time, it doesn't matter, he is the champion. Gold for Wales and Aled Davies.
Letha, you fucking rascal. Hey, hey. You're just cold. He wants a hug because he's cold. Hey. Good job. Yeah, 1 second. Yeah. Background, please. So with this background is very good. Yeah. Mega. Look here, please. Yes. Look at me. Here, please. Thank you. Can I get a picture with everyone? Are we all going? Hey, good job. Thank you, very good. Keep getting cramped in my car. Oh.
Medal ceremony for the women's shot puts. Glasgow, please welcome the medalists. Medals and gifts will be presented by President CGN Papua New Guinea, Emma Waiwai. And board member CGN Wales, Susie Watton-Retrain. Bronze medalist, representing Jamaica, Lovisa Cameron. Silver medalist, representing Nigeria, Jessica Oji. Gold medalist and Commonwealth Games champion, representing Canada, Sarah Mitten. Due to a technical issue, unfortunately, we're unable to play the anthem currently. Once again, please show your appreciation for the Commonwealth Games medalists. And our sincere apologies for the technical issues that avoided us unfortunately being able to play the Canada anthem. Well, that concludes tonight's session. Thank you very much for your support in stadium for all of the athletes. We had some marvellous wins for Aled Davis, almost a UK record for Elise Lorna, Scottish medals for Melanie Woods and Steve McKenzie. Fantastic first Northern Ireland gold medal since 1986. We look forward to that ceremony. But it's all building up to a classic last few days. Hope you can join us. Have a safe journey home.